What is going on, everybody? It is episode 710 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here back once again with my co-host. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, Crisis actors. It's Mary. Happy Friday. As you can tell, we have a special guest on the show. The last time you were here, I wasn't.
No.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you again.
Introduce yourself for those who haven't seen you here before.
Well, my name is Cody Dennison. I have a channel called Camelot 331. I've ran for a couple years, and I've been, kind of flying through life doing that. And then I somehow ended up racing and partnering with Timcast, and that's kind of why I'm here again.
Yeah.
Because I was on Timcast yesterday. It was an awesome show, and
what'd you talk about?
They talked about politics, and I tried. I'm not very good at it, but we did talk about a lot of racing stuff. I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and then I asked Brett. I was like, "Well, if I'm doing Timcast, can I do PCC as well? Let's do the same thing. I want to do both."
Yeah.
So we're here.
I feel the same way whenever I've done IRL. I just sit there and try.
But you do have takes.
I have takes, but I mean not as much anymore.
You have more takes than I do.
More, like, less these days because I pay even less attention, and I know that just by virtue of paying less attention, that most of the stuff that I'm getting is very one-sided, so I'm hesitant to, like, talk about it without at least doing cursory research into both sides of the argument, because I just know that if you're getting most of your news from something like Twitter, your news is very heavily curated by either who you follow or what you engage with. So not knowing whether I've gotten the whole story, I tend to just stay out of it.
So you were just derailing yesterday.
Yeah, I was worried I was going to say something really dumb, and then they would say something that I was thinking, and I was like, I could have said that.
That's always good, right?
I was like, I'm going to say we should raise the voting age to 30. And then I was like, but that's insane. They're like really serious, and they're like, and Tim's gonna yell at me.
Serious political thinkers here.
And then Seamus was like, we should just raise the voting age to 30. And I'm like, oh.
I love the idea of Tim yelling at him after the show. He's like, don't you dare suggest stuff like that on the show.
How dare
Don't show your face here again.
Yes.
You have a mustache.
But yeah, it was, how long ago was that? It wasn't a year ago, but it was 6 months ago.
It was like March or May.
March, and that was when it all started, right? With the racing.
Yeah, well, it was, I started way late. So, the season was already going, and I was already traveling and trying to get into the racing deal. Because once you're approved for NASCAR stuff, you just go, right? You can just go and hope things work out. And, you just need funding and you need sponsors. And that's when I flew out and I just talked to Tim, and that's when we got locked down for the whole year. And so, yeah, it was pretty cool, man.
So now you're shipping the Timcast hood to get displayed officially?
I couldn't afford it this week. It's so expensive to ship. It's huge.
I'm sure it is, yeah.
It's huge. Like, you think it's like normal car size, but those stock cars are way larger than normal cars. Like on TV, it's a normal. No, they're like 18 feet long, man.
Wow.
Well, we're gonna talk more about it. We'll get into it because we've got some actual pop culture related racing news here.
Yeah.
But we got a bunch of stuff to get into. But before we get started, guys, please hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed here yet already. We have passed 140,000 subscribers. So if you are new, guys, thank you so much for showing up and joining in on the show. It's a lot of fun.
We have a 20 from Daniel J. Corica. Tim should sell merch with his race car on it. Congratulations on being awesome. He should sell the little Matchbox.
Yeah, diecast.
Yeah, so we were going to do, with actual Lionel Racing, the official diecast. So that was something we were considering. It's kind of something still in process. Tim has the only diecast, though, that exists.
Yeah.
So there's one prototype, and I gave it to Tim yesterday. So
awesome. So we got a bunch of stuff to get into today. It's going to be a lot of fun. But again, hit the like button on this video. Subscribe if you have not done so already. Share this video with your friends, your family, your loved ones, people you like, people you hate, everyone in between. The best way to help channels like this grow is to share the videos and the live streams out and get other people in here to watch them. So thank you guys so much for that. So what are we getting into today? Well, go figure. There is Star Wars news today because it was announced yesterday. Well, I think it was like 2 days ago now. They have the first ever trans Stormtrooper, because the thing that matters most when you're a really bad shot and you're shooting at the good guys is inclusivity. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're also going to get into actress Jodie Turner-Smith. She was, of course, one of the actors from The Acolyte, which I'm sure all of you in the chat loved and watched religiously as it was coming out. She has some complaints with Disney because she thinks that Disney, the Fortune 500 babysitter, should have done more to protect its stars from the meanie head, fans, the meanie poopy head fans.
Yeah, that's what they are. They're big meanie heads, big poopy heads.
It's like they're not the ones consuming the products or anything. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
She's also Woman of the Year.
Yes,
one of the women.
She's one of the women of the year. So we're going to talk about that. We are also going to talk about this debate that was raging on Twitter about people discussing whether or not, the men who spend thousands of dollars on OnlyFans, thoughts. Are they getting scammed or not?
Are they victims?
Are they victims? So we're going to get into that. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you guys are ready, we can just get started. Mary, are you ready?
Let's go.
Camelot.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, first things first. So I want to lead into what we initially talked about. We're going to be talking about this new rating site, but I want to lead in with some news about the Penguin, which just came in, the new numbers for Samba TV. #1 again this week. And I just thought that was really interesting because once a show debuts, it feels like all the news just kind of disappears about it. They make their initial, like with Rings of Power, it was like 25 million viewers and then never heard anything about it again. Well, Samba TV is doing a good job of keeping up as far as numbers go. But if you are a fan and you're looking for a place to rate your television and movies and you don't want to use Rotten Tomatoes anymore, well, Cosmic Book News, which is a site we reference quite frequently on this site or on the show, have launched their own version of Rotten Tomatoes called Stinky Garbage.
Yes.
Which is a great name.
Welcome to Stinky Garbage, where your review counts. We have a 20 from Rakin Knight. Good to see my guy Camelot on PCC.
Let's go.
Hi.
Can't wait to see you in 2 weeks. It's gonna be fun, dude.
Because the fans demanded it, I'm excited to introduce you to Stinky Garbage, a new review site for movies, TV, and more. Independent platform not tied to any studio or big corporation. Throwing shade at Fandango right now.
So the thing that I would find best about this, in a perfect world, 5 years from now, it becomes so legitimate that they start using it in their advertising campaigns, like rated gold on Stinky Garbage.
You get a golden garbage bag instead of the popcorn meter.
Yeah, well, yeah, and they got rid of that too. Remember?
Yeah. No need to prove you bought a ticket. Whether you buy tickets from your favorite local theater, your friends, or vice versa, all your reviews count.
Even if you're not seeing the movies, I could see this turning to a great place for like really funny fan fiction.
Yeah.
About your movie going experience.
Maybe we'll check both from now on when we're reviewing a movie.
Yeah. So look, and then I got the site right here. It's literally stinkygarbage.com. Hard to believe that site wasn't taken already.
It's theirs for the taking. It's a great idea.
But another site that I do want to reference, since we are talking about it, which we don't really bring up here a lot, is Criticlist, which a lot of great YouTubers are already employing to write their own reviews for movies and television. This is one of those things where I wish I was more organized. Because like what ends up happening is like I write reviews almost by accident. I start typing a tweet. And by the time I'm done,
it becomes an essay.
And by the time it's done, it's really, really long.
Yeah.
Sorry, we got a 20 from Bombchus. Brett, you are fake news. Stormtroopers have an unrealistically high accuracy percentage compared to U.S. military stats.
Well, I don't know what the skill gap is between the weapons that each are using. I don't know how an M16 holds up, but less
should
recoil.
add nukes to Star Wars.
Less recoil means that it's probably easier for a stormtrooper to hit something.
True.
Right? But look, I'm one of those people where I start typing a review on Twitter, not even meaning for it to be a review, but by the time it's done, because I am so bad at tweeting, I don't do concise well.
But isn't that the point? You want to get people to engage with your post as much as possible. So if they're sitting there reading it for longer, it gives you more money.
I don't monetize I'm not interesting enough to be monetized on Twitter. But the
you don't have to be interesting.
The point is like I try to not reach the thing where it says like press to continue reading.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I do most of the time. But the thing is if I was smarter, I would use a site like Criticlist, but I can never get myself, because then I'm start thinking like, oh, I've committed to doing this now.
Now you're a critic.
Yeah. Well, no, it's like I've committed to doing this now. It has to almost happen by accident. Whereas like if I'm like, I'm going to go write this review for this movie, I'll just keep editing and never end up being happy with it, rather than just like spewing a bunch of word vomit.
It's because you speak from the heart.
Thank you.
And
That's
everything has to be designed. Like everything you do that's just kind of a whim and kind of something you do for fun, it's always fun until it becomes your job.
No, that's literally...
That's the issue.
Does that happen for you?
Yeah, everything. Marry everything happened that way. I was like, I want to kind of do YouTube and stream and be goofy, and then it became my job. Then I was like, I want to race, and then it became my job. And
now you hate your life.
Now I'm just like stressed, but it's like this, it's this weird fulfillment stress where you have to keep going. And there's like the comfortable ground where you do nothing and you don't improve and you just sit there. And then there's the stressful, I don't have anything, I'm barely scraping by. And then there's the stressful pushing forward and trying to like beat every single year that you've had before. And there's like everything's just stressful unless you're in this weird comfortable state, which I think most people are in, to be honest. 9 to 5 until they die.
I mean, I feel like it's like doing this job has made YouTube a lot less fun for me. Like watching YouTube,
people,
I don't. Well, at least watching the stuff that we cover, right? Like a lot of the stuff that we do now is in the same realm as the YouTubers that I used to watch, but now I'm just like, I just talked.
I didn't watch any of those YouTubers, so I'm fine.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But I mean, it didn't just kill that for me. It killed like I don't watch political YouTube.
It's funny
either.
how you kind of, without even trying to, when I showed up, you kind of put me through boot camp.
A little bit.
Like teaching me about these things. I didn't know who Nerdrotic was. Like I didn't know who any of these YouTubers were.
What is a Nerdrotic?
Like,
that's what you were saying.
I didn't know anything about anything, and then I just jumped in.
Well, yeah, and that was really funny because when he was here, because Gary did an episode of IRL and got to meet him and talk to him and stuff like that. But that was before this show launched and stuff. But now it's like, if it would be more interesting if I wasn't looking at this stuff all day in the news, but also it might not even work anymore because now it's not even just about doing it for work. It's that if you go on Twitter, that's all you're talking about, or that's all, depending on how your algorithm is curated, most of the people that I follow are all talking about this stuff. So then you just have to go watch the long form video about the thing you've seen people arguing about on Twitter all day.
My timeline is way too political. I cannot wait
until
November.
It's 100% politics, yeah.
I just need it to be over already.
So it's all Hurricane Milton and Kamala Harris and FEMA.
I'm sick of it.
What's funny about that, anybody who's watched The X-Files understands that FEMA has actually become a self-fulfilling prophecy because, believe it or not, back in the 90s, The X-Files was fear-mongering against the evils of FEMA. Who would have known that they actually turned out to be right?
They are evil.
They were right about everything.
It just wasn't aliens.
The X-Files was right about everything.
It wasn't aliens. So go ahead and check out Stinky Garbage. And I also do think you guys should go check out Critic List. There's a lot of great people that are writing reviews for stuff over on there. And the other thing about it is like if you're taking the time to write something like this out and it's not on a platform like YouTube where there's a lot of monetization, you're going to get some great nuanced takes that may not fall in line. Because one of the hardest things is like when we do a movie review, we have to make the engaging thumbnail, right? But me and you don't always necessarily agree on movies. So usually it's pretty fair to say that unless we both agree heavily on a movie, one person's perspective isn't necessarily always shown in that thumbnail. Which means if the thumbnail says it's great, it's because I liked it and Mary didn't. And if it says it's horrible, it's because, we both hated it.
Most of them are just meh.
Yeah.
We feel nothing.
I did try, so because I am watching The Penguin, I did start rewatching The Batman the other night.
Why?
I just thought I'd give it a chance. It is amazing cinematography, but my God, it's boring.
Is it you mean the movie, The Batman?
The movie, The Batman.
If it would have ended before that weird, like, concert rally, flood thing, that was like an hour of him just saving people from this flood thing. It would have been fantastic. Just play this like somewhere in, just do that over and over, and him's riding his bike. And I'm like, this is great. But then that whole portion of him saving the flood people, I was like, all right, now I'm bored as hell. Come on,
they should have just made the whole thing like a Sigma male cap cut edit to Nirvana.
Something's in the way.
No, the funny thing is like when I was watching it, I watch everything with captions on, and it had the gall to put melancholy music, not Nirvana.
I'm so sad. Life's so sad.
It made me laugh.
They tried.
I'm trying to work my way back through it, but The Penguin is infinitely more interesting.
Yeah.
So. All right. Let's move on then. We got a bunch more stuff to get into today, guys. You'll love this. So Keanu Reeves made his professional racing debut at the Toyota GR Cup, and he placed 25th out of 35.
Is that impressive?
I don't know. To get in these cars and do anything at this capacity as far as professional, like a professional level, is impressive to me. After doing it, I remember watching it for years. And in every discipline of racing, right? Watching it for years. And anybody that's not in the top three, you're like, they're garbage. They don't know. You know what I'm saying? And then when you actually get out there and do it, and you realize how high stress, how intense, and how focused, and all the things that go into it, you respect everybody that does it.
Have you had a near-death experience?
I mean, we wrecked at Iowa this year, and it was a real hard wreck. But you can barely breathe. It's like hard to breathe because you have you have the Hans device. Your seatbelts go over it. You have a 5-point harness. The like seat cocoons around you. It's like still, and it comes around your ribs and it comes around your head, and you can't move your head or turn left or right or anything. It's just eyes and like wrist. So usually you're pretty safe in any kind of accident, in almost any kind of discipline in racing now.
It's when I saw this, it reminded me of Frankie Muniz, who also races, right?
He does?
Yeah, I've raced with him a bunch this year.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I thought he just had like an olive oil company.
No, he went into racing pretty soon after, like Malcolm
He's a
in the
jack
Middle.
of all trades.
Yeah, he races in NASCAR, and we were bump drafting at Talladega this year, and I don't remember where he finished, but I know we raced at Kansas together, and I passed him at Kansas, and I think he blew up, and Michigan. But he's so nice. I talk to him every time he's down there, and he's the nicest dude in the garage. He's just super nice dude.
That's so random. I didn't expect that from him.
I love it. I love it when actors just go off and do something. Because what most actors do is they go start a company.
Yeah.
Right? They all have wine companies or whiskey companies now. That's what all the big name actors have.
Yeah, his was olive oil.
Yeah, so that's even better. He's like, I'm going to be the hipster of second careers as actors. I'm going to become a race car driver, and I'm going to start an olive oil
He has
company.
funny tweets too.
Does he? What does he tweet about?
Just random bullshit.
stuff?
Never Malcolm in the Middle.
He tweeted something the other day that was really based, and I just
Really?
said based Frankie, and I got like 4,000 likes on it. It was very nice.
It's really funny because like my mom would have Malcolm in the Middle on in the background some days when I'd get home from work. But my biggest one of the things that I saw him in was not he was in the Spy Kids movies, right?
Yep.
But that was like I didn't see those. He was in this random episode of Criminal Minds where he plays a comic book artist who goes through a psychotic break, and it was basically pulled from elements of The Crow. And there's this scene where he like breaks, like he literally pulls like handcuffs that are on him and breaks a table, and I'm like, he's not nearly big enough to do that. He's tiny.
Looks like Frankie Muniz broke a rib last
Yeah.
month. It's intense.
So what's next so you got some time off now until you got to be back on the track?
Thank God, man. Yeah, so it's pretty hectic. My whole life I wanted to do this, and I think it was middle of the year. We had 7 races in a row, and by the 7th one, I was like, I don't think I can do this.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it was Agent Cody Banks, not Spy Kids.
Yes.
It was Daryl Sabaro was the one from
And
Spy
Big Fat
Kids.
Liar.
And Big Fat. Oh, so I just saw the other day. This is a complete aside. That home is for sale right now, and it was on TMZ. It's like, look at the
Nice.
pool where they dyed it blue and turned Paul Giamatti into a Smurf.
That's great.
I love it.
Yeah.
So you got some time off now.
Yeah.
Decompress.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang out. We got things figured out for next year. It looks like so. Next year I should be racing full time again. But yeah, it was a really long year, and it's real hard. But I'm just gonna chill. I'll go on my diet like per usual in November. November to January, I'll drop about 30 pounds and
Time to
kinda
cut.
reset, and quit drinking and all that stuff for a couple months, so I can just reset and get ready for the new year.
We have a
20
20
there.
from the Rumbling. When Disney was based, they had a cartoon called Tailspin, which had an episode that covered cloud seeding, which was the topic on the culture war. 90s shows used to be great. We were once a sane country.
We were.
Wait, so Shane was on talking about how the clouds are all fake?
Must have been. I've been seeing more than a few people in my timeline talking about government controlling the weather. and
See,
that's-
people clown on Ian for saying he can control the weather and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But Shane is saying just as crazy stuff.
Yeah, but it's Shane's brand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put a girl on.
Thank you.
He's dancing. It's good.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the
It is true, though, that, like, people are having arguments back and forth. Like, this is kind of one of the other reasons why I've kind of tuned out politically. If we now live in a world where I'm looking at people arguing about whether the government can control the weather or not, that's just too depressing for me. I don't
Yeah.
want to live in a world where that's the actual conversation. I want to watch movies where that's the conversation.
It's predictive programming.
It's pretty much, right?
That's what it is.
Yeah. So, what was your best performance your best race last year?
The one we did the best at, see, the results don't really reflect. So at Charlotte, we ran like 8th, 9th the whole race. and it's a big track at Charlotte. You know, it's like a legendary track, and we were just in the battle all day, and it was so fun. But we ended up finishing 13th because we restarted third with no tires, and we were just kind of going for it, and it just didn't work out, you know. But we finished 7th at Salem, and I was just nursing the car home because something was wrong with it, and we were running 7th. So I just nursed it home for 30 laps and just, you know, was running probably like 80%. At Toledo, which is our last race, we finished 8th. We were on the lead lap the whole race. We never went a lap down, and it was a great race. So we had a lot of really, really good moments. And our point for next year is, because we were jumping around from team to team, different crew chiefs, different car chiefs, different crew. Next year we're gonna have one crew chief, one car chief, and all like the same crew the entire year. That's
gotta help, right?
Yeah, it's like you need a cohesive unit, and then we'll have 5 cars probably ready before Daytona, and just have everything ready. We jumped into this last year in June, just, you know, both feet in, like just jumping in. So this year we'll have so much preparation that we can. It's possible, and it's not likely, but it is possible we could win the actual championship in the main division, because you don't have to. There's kids that come in there and win every race because their future is higher. Yeah. But if you're actually focusing on this series, and you're running all the races and you're having good finishes, an average finish of 8th or 9th can win you the championship. Okay. That's the guy that won it this year. I think his average finish was like 8.3.
Let's go.
So that's what we're going to shoot for next year. All we got to do is finish, you know, top 10 half the races, and we're there. So, and we're definitely capable, because we're going to be bringing new engines for every big track. We're going to be bringing the new cars, new suspension, everything. We're going to really, really put it all out there and see what we can do.
I got an important question. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Which car was better, the Cyberfrog car or the Timcast car?
Look-wise? Oh, the Cyberfrog car looked better.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's better.
I didn't ask look-wise. I said which car did better.
Oh, well, I mean, the Timcast car.
Of course. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to... No.
The verdict is in.
Yeah. It's just I think Joshua Lamb designed the Cyberfrog car. And he's just, you know, he's a hyper professional guy, and he spent so much time on that. And there was like 90 different iterations of it before they came to the consensus. So it was awesome, and they did an awesome job. And the Timcast car looks great. It's just, you know, the Cyberfrog car is in the running for best paint scheme of the entire year in the sport.
Let's go.
So there's an award for that?
Yeah, of course.
It
ran
their own version of the Oscars. Where everybody gets to come and
it won the paint scheme of the race at Talladega.
Nice.
Yeah, we ran good in the car. It's just our best result was obviously we were finished 7th, 8th, a bunch with the Timcast car. So
let's go. All right. Well, guess who's back in the news?
Yeah, Sydney Sweeney. Not long ago, we were talking about Sydney Sweeney's brand deal with Dr. Squatch Men's Natural Body Wash, and there were 2 responses. They were either saying, this is humiliating, this is so sexist and objectifying, why is she doing this? Does she owe someone money? Is she desperate for cash and she's broke that she needs to do this? And the other response was, I'm immediately buying this body wash so that Sydney Sweeney will like me.
Yeah.
And I saw another post about this brand deal that she did saying, for the homosexual youth, this is what adverts were like 20 years ago. We have literally gone back. Woke status put away by Sydney Sweeney's mommy milkers.
I wonder if they know that these ads never went away. They're just on Instagram for like Manscaped.
Should we show some of these? I didn't see the rest of these where she plays a genie.
Oh, see, when we were looking at these before, these are the ones I thought you were talking about. These are the ones that I had seen.
When we talked about it originally, we showed one of the ads, but I didn't know it was like a whole thing where she did multiple.
Let's just show one of them here so people can see what we're talking about.
She like electrocutes men.
Well, let's, do we want to do that one? Or this was the first one that I saw. Here we go, guys. Hold on. Here we go.
Body wash genie. What? Dr. Squatch natural body wash? Sydney Sweeney body wash genie?
What's your wish? It could be anything.
Coconuts.
Sydney Sweeney, get down! Dr. Squatch body wash for men who prefer natural.
I think it's great.
Like, I love the idea that there's just a boardroom of people who have to write these, and that's my favorite part, right? That there's a bunch of people who sit around and say like, it'd be funny.
Maybe she came up with it herself.
It's fantastic.
These ads are not rare. It's just, it's usually not done this way, and it's usually with, IG models.
Well, when this was posted a day ago, this person responded saying, "This is actually the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen. Did she hit someone with her car? Is this community service? Why is she doing this?"
That's a fat woman for sure. I talked about this earlier. Like, it's ugly, obese women are angry at attractive women for using their attractiveness to their benefit.
Yeah.
That's what it is, man.
Sour grapes.
There is nothing wrong with some big old boobies and on commercials. I love it. It's great.
I just think it's weird how we were talking before the show. I said 20 years ago, this ad would have been frowned upon as well. It just would have been frowned upon by Christian conservatives.
Yeah.
Now it's frowned upon by leftists for a different reason, which is mainly jealousy.
I talk about this all the time. It's the weirdest thing. It's hyper left people want you to cover up because you're too attractive, and it's hyper right people that want you to cover up because it's not modest. They weirdly agree with each other for different reasons.
Horseshoe theory.
Yeah.
Right? And you see stuff like this and you wonder, well, why don't they advertise stuff like this anymore? It's not like the movies shy away from this stuff. We talk all the time about degeneracy in movies and sex. I mean, I guess sex scenes tend to be more television shows than movies.
Well, this was my first thought, is that the Dr. Squatch body wash ad Sydney Sweeney did was far more tasteful and PG than anything she's done in her TV shows or movies.
Yeah.
So what's the big idea? What's the outrage about? I was talking about how like her scenes in Euphoria are way more distasteful and just straight up pornographic than anything that was shown in these ads.
I mean, what they're making it about is the gender wage gap. That's what they're saying. They're saying
Because nobody was outraged when she did actual porn scenes in Euphoria. So why are they mad now?
because she was doing it in a movie or in a television show, so they see that as some form of high art.
Yeah, that's bizarre to me because I don't see that. I don't see Euphoria as high art.
They see it that way, and that's whether it is or it isn't. That's up to the taste of the person who's actually consuming the media. I think most people would say it's not, right?
Wait, so I could just tell people that like all the porn that I watch is just high art?
That's all you have to say.
Yeah, if you're Sam Levinson.
Yeah.
This makes sense, actually. That's what I'm going to do from now on. I'm going to completely exonerate myself and all the bad feelings I have.
It's like the meme where it's like the cops come in on the guy and the woman having sex, and they're like, "You're under arrest for prostitution." He goes, "No, we're not." And he points, and there's a camera. They're like, "Oh, sorry."
We have another
Carry on.
20 from Demo. John C. Reilly talking truth about big old chesticles in advertising, my man.
It's sex sells. It's always sold, and it will continue to do so. But I agree that there's something a little bit more. I wouldn't say wholesome is the word, but it's just more PG and more fun.
It has a sense of humor about itself.
Yeah.
It's a little bit ironic.
Well, the issue is she's using her looks for that's that entire drive of the commercial is Sydney Sweeney's here, coconuts, giant titties, she's great, and like the guys are, oh, Sydney Sweeney, and that's fine because that's how I feel when I look at Sydney Sweeney.
But they were making it about the gender wage gap. They're saying that she's not making as much money as her male counterparts without realizing that she had given an interview a while ago. Remember, it was the whole thing. It's like, I had to buy a $3 million mansion. I'm broke now. That was before she had all of the success she's had recently. She's already more successful than she was then. So it's like they're
saying that
complain.
she has to take brand deals that are below her, they're beneath her, because they don't pay her enough for her movie roles.
Because men are evil.
Yes.
So it always boils down to this poor, sexy woman is having to show her sexiness because men are evil, and she doesn't get paid as much as Hugh Jackman. And I'm like, it's because Hugh Jackman, when he's mad on camera, he looks mad, and when you're on camera, you just look sexy. You're not a good actress, therefore you don't get paid the same market share as Ryan Reynolds.
It's really funny because you don't see them complaining about that. Like the whole time they were promoting Deadpool and Wolverine, it was all about Hugh Jackman being shirtless
and his abs. And the whole movie's about that. He's like, they're like waiting for the abs, and then they
Thor: Love and Thunder did the same thing pretty much.
Oh, they ripped his clothes off.
Yeah.
So it is a misnomer to pretend like this doesn't happen to the men.
But it's also like, I'm sure Dakota Johnson, another woman in Hollywood, was paid more for Madam Web than Sydney Sweeney was because she was the star of the movie.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And she's been in the industry longer. That's how that works in any industry.
And people have no sympathy for these types of things because what they're going to tell you is like, look, it's up to you to negotiate the contract you think you deserve. And if you don't feel like you deserve, if you don't feel like you're getting paid enough, walk away.
And Sydney Sweeney has like big ambitions to have a production company and all this stuff and become the next Margot Robbie in that regard. The problem is she's just not as good at acting as Margot Robbie. Her acting skills are better put to use in something like this than a serious movie that's high art.
There's no reason.
So she knows what she's good at.
Yeah, like there's like if she's kind of like an A-list version of a horror movie, of a B horror movie actor.
Like I was saying earlier, you have to use what you have. If you gave me a set of freaking mommy milkers and a tight waist and I was blonde and 24, holy dude, I would do everything possible. Oh, your contract says your boobies have to be out. I'll be like, they can be out the whole time. I don't care. Like, give me money and let me be as active in my career as I can until I'm 34 and I'm no longer sexy. And just do that forever.
And then get married to whatever producer was telling you to do that.
Yeah, you already have $100 million. You got $100 million in your savings. You got 1,000 hours of footage of you looking sexy when you were younger that you could always look back on and cry and drink wine.
Well, then they'll go to conventions and make tons of money. The funny thing was, so we were just talking, you just mentioned Margot Robbie. I just saw something, and I feel bad because I don't remember what it was. They were talking about she's got a new project in the works right now.
The Sims movie?
No, it wasn't the Sims movie. And they were saying that they were shopping it. It was being shopped to streamers, and she said they don't want to release it streaming.
Oh, it was the Wuthering Heights.
Yes.
Movie.
So they were saying they want to put that out in theaters because much like Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell did with Anyone But You, they realized that releasing it in theaters will have more cultural impact than releasing stuff straight to streaming.
Which Sydney Sweeney knew before everybody else. She's ahead of the game.
Yeah, so to pretend like she isn't a fantastic businesswoman who just happens to be using, her talents just is a little bit insulting. And I do find it weird that 20 years on and the same morality is being spit back at us just from the other side, but they don't see it or they can't see it.
Well, I just think say what you want about Sydney Sweeney, but she's smarter than anyone as beautiful as her needs to be. And that's something to be proud of.
Yeah. If you can have a conscious, like, reasonable thought and you're that attractive, you won.
Yeah.
You're good to go. Because usually these girls, you could be what two countries border the USA, Mary? And if you were one of these girls, you'd be like, I don't know. And that's the like,
Alaska?
That's the issue. That's
Hawaii,
the issue.
right?
A reasonable thought, and you're attractive. You won the lottery. Enjoy.
Yeah, if Sydney Sweeney were dumb, she probably would have gone to college and then like started an OnlyFans to pay for her student loan debt and then faded into obscurity.
I wish
forever.
that path would have happened.
Well, and people were saying that in the comments. They're like, she could just do that. And I'm like, but she's not. That's even more impressive. She's doing it without doing that.
It's pretty clear why she's doing this. She wanted a payday. She wanted to make money off of an ad.
I think, what did I say before? I said this is the female equivalent of Tom Selleck doing the reverse mortgage ads that he does that old people see on daytime television.
Also, I just don't think that cleavage is like inherently distasteful.
Yeah, I think it's the classiest, most beautiful thing that's ever happened.
Like, if you look back at how women dressed in like the Regency era, in like the 1880s,
like Victorian,
they had their tits out, and it was a much more Puritan era in culture than it is now. Obviously,
couldn't show an ankle, but you could have them freaking rocks.
I would just like the left to be able to acknowledge that they've come full circle, to where the Christian right was back in the late 90s.
Remember, free the nipple,
and
that's
2000s.
Not a thing anymore. Now it's cover your nipple up if you're attractive.
I would just like some consistency. That's all I'm asking.
I agree.
Some consistency.
You're not going to get it.
No, not at all. All right,
not from these people.
Let's. What would you guys like to see? Cringe or cute? Or I do have a brain rot.
We can do all three.
Okay, we'll start with a brain rot of the day here. I don't think I've watched the full of this one, but I think
from the same guy as yesterday.
No. I'm going to save those. We're not going to do those all the time. Here we go. Brain rot of the day, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Sigma, we must yap.
Yes, my little Gaiat?
I'm going to goon alone from now on.
You're breaking our mewing streak? Why Gaiat?
You're always edging to Kai Sanat, and I don't like it.
But baby, I need to learn how to goon like a real Rizzler.
You already had me rizzed up. Why do you need to learn how to goon like a Rizzler?
I want to be a Sigma for you, baby.
You were already a Sigma in my eyes.
Were?
Yes, you're just a beta now. It's your own fault for not edging enough with me.
Comeback AI says I'm sorry for learning how to be more Sigma instead of being freaky with you. You know I skibidi you. I'm sorry for learning how to be more Sigma instead of being freaky with you. You know I skibidi you.
Oh, I can't be mad at you, my skibidi.
We have a lot of catching up to do on gooning, don't we?
On skibidi, we could go to your goon.
Why does she get skibbity right, but the AI voice doesn't? I guess is hers not an AI voice?
No,
there's a
it's
skibidi.
an AI
What the
voice.
Sigma?
I'm on my Grimace shake draining days.
You skibidi what the gooner's toilet?
What is it?
It's just getting worse.
All of these are just ads for an AI that tells you how to respond to texts.
Yep.
With Brainrot language.
Yep. Well, there was an ad recently for it was like an AI program that will help you on dating apps if you don't know how to talk to women. And somebody has a chance to do the best prank ever, where all of them are just like, oh, tell her this, and it's all just like, call her a level 10 guy at.
Yeah, it's ultimate skibbity riz. We have a 20 from the Manic Mustache. Late as usual, but apropos to ponies, Mr. Dennison, if you had a post-apocalyptic red battle panda to ride into the revolutionary battlefield, what would you name him and why? And remember, if you're not first, you're last.
Vorgan Von Strangle.
Oh, wow.
He had a name ready for
Why
him.
then? He wanted to know why.
It sounds cool.
Okay.
Well, it's the angry Arnold Schwarzenegger fairy from the Fairly Odd Parents.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good enough reason.
So I don't think I would have to. I'd have to wait to see the red battle panda to pick a name.
Okay.
I would wait until then.
I picked Oliver Anthony when I was asked, so I don't have a reason why.
All right. Cringe or cute? What would you guys like to see first?
Up to you, Cody.
Cute.
Okay.
Cute first? All right. We will do that. Here we go.
Brainrot was pretty cringe, so.
Yes, it was. Kyle Dixon says, remember this little potato I sent back in April? Well, here he is now. Not bad for 6 months.
Oh,
He's a
literally the
potato.
size of a potato.
Look at him.
Oh, the fingers.
Now, wow.
That's cute. How is that so fast? Damn.
Dogs do that. My husky, he looked like a little potato, little furry potato, little blue eyes. And then I took him home, and 6 months later, he was 80 pounds. Huge monster. of a dog.
Adorable.
Yeah, so.
Though he looks very sleepy there.
Yes.
All right, let's do one more. This one is from Pat the Plumber. He says, my best friend's cat, Ozzy, being adorable. When anyone else is around, he's a total sketchball.
Ozzy's cute.
Look at
Very cute.
That's a very like looks like a professional photographer took that picture. Asked you to look like some form of royalty there.
Beautiful.
All right, cringe of the day. I have not seen this one the whole. Oh boy, yeah, okay. Here we go.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
I'm a man, man.
And I'm man enough.
I'm man enough to enjoy a barrel-proof bourbon.
Neat.
Man enough to cook my steak rare.
Man enough to deadlift 500, then braid the out of my daughter's hair.
You think I'm afraid to rebuild a carburetor? I eat carburetors for breakfast.
I ain't afraid of bears.
That's
That guy does not.
I'm sorry. I eat carburetors for breakfast.
That guy does not eat carburetors.
Does he know what a carburetor is?
I don't know.
I'll tell you another thing I sure as shit am not afraid of. Women.
I'm not afraid of women.
I'm not afraid of women.
They want to control their bodies? I say go for it.
They want to use IVF to start a family? I'm not afraid of families.
They want to be childless cat ladies?
Have all the cats you want.
Woman wants to be president?
Well, I hope she has the guts to look me right in the eye and accept my full-throated endorsement.
Because I'm man enough to support women.
Who approved full-throated?
I hope this is satire. I don't know where
It has to be satire because it's like Simpy.
Okay, so I saw people talking about this yesterday. Is this? Do we know if this is satire or not?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
Enough to admit I'm lost, even when I refuse to ask for directions.
Man enough to not ban young women from reading Little Women.
Or one of those pants books that the sisters like.
I'm man enough to raw dog a flight. It sucked. Not worth it.
I'm man enough to be emotional in front of my wife.
In front of my kids.
In front of my horse. I'm man enough to tell you that I cry at Love Actually. Good Will Hunting.
West Side Story.
That and Predator.
And I'm sick of so-called men domineering, belittling, and controlling women just so they can feel more powerful. That's not how my mama raised me.
I love women.
I love women who support their families.
Women who decide not to have families.
Women who take charge.
And I'm man enough to help them win.
Yikes.
So, look, assuming this is not satire, this is actually it is actually a tactic that is very, very often seen. It's this weird, like, reverse. It's actually manly to be a total bitch. And I'm like, that doesn't work because it's not applicable. It's not useful in daily life and actual society. Like, we can say what we want on camera and we can do all these things where we pretend everything's all good, but as soon as you get in a real situation on Tuscaloosa Avenue, that shit don't mean nothing anymore. If you're a little 4'11" girl and you go on Tuscaloosa Avenue and you're like, huh, it's actually manly to not beat me and like kill me right now, they're gonna be like, shut up, bitch, and they're gonna slap you and they're gonna kill you. It's not useful.
Wait, On what now avenue?
Tuscaloosa Avenue.
I don't know anything about this.
You don't go Tuscaloosa Avenue, man.
I will not. From the sound of it, I should not do that.
Reference
we
to
have
the
two
Sublime song.
$20 super chats. Pop Culture Junkie said, I have it on good authority that there is a connection between Sweeney's thoughts on streaming and Scarlett Johansson's Disney dust over Black Widow.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. That was more to do with they kind of pulled the rug out from under Sydney Sweeney or from Scarlett Johansson by saying like we're releasing this in the theaters and then saying psych we're doing day and date release. Now your chances of getting your bonus based on ticket sales is out the window. And she won that lawsuit. They settled.
And Rhaegar Targaryen said this is the new People's Joker.
This could be the new People's Joker.
I don't know. I think People's Joker is always going to take the cake.
Oh, that was so. You know what it is it really is a room full of women who live in a metropolitan city, how they imagine somebody masculine
He eats
admitting that he's not
carburetors
entirely
for
masculine.
breakfast.
Yeah, and then but the biggest point about this whole situation is they're allowed to think that way because they've never been to the Middle East.
Yeah. Yep.
Step off a plane, baby, in Saudi Arabia for 2 seconds. Wait a second.
That was. I also love, and I know that this isn't a political show. I love the gaslighting around book banning.
Oh, right, about Little Women.
As if that's what they're talking
Like,
about.
no.
When anybody who's even paying remotely the smallest bit of attention understands that those aren't the books that they're talking about.
Yeah.
That's the most annoying part of it, is that you can never tell. You have to try to discern between who's being disingenuous and a bad actor and who's just doesn't know what they're talking about.
Some of both.
Yeah, a little bit of both. Okay, well, that was awful. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what Cringe of the Day is for.
That was fantastic.
Mission accomplished.
All right, let's go ahead and get started then, shall we?
Yeah, Star Wars just unveiled the very first transgender Stormtrooper. They're breaking glass ceilings, and the Star Wars fans have mixed reactions about it. We have another 20 from Alejandro Reyes with no message. Thank you for that. The name of the trans Stormtrooper is Sister, and this was unveiled in a new book, Star Wars: The Secrets of Clone Troopers. I found this from Star Wars Holocron on X. So this says, Rex's description of Sister in the book reads, when one of our kind expressed her gender identity differently than her fellow troopers, she featured she'd have to hide what she truly was inside. Fortunately, her brothers in the 7th Sky Corps gave her the name Sister as a constant reminder that she belonged. And you can see in the illustration here that Sister wears the normal Stormtrooper outfit with the trans pride flag colors in stripes on it.
You ever think
represent that?
You ever think about this for a moment? How this is a universe. Now, to be fair, it's also a galaxy far, far away, which somehow has Californian politics like deep enriched into it. But that's beside the point. You ever think about how the Star Wars universe is kind of war torn? Like it's like, you know, it's like Nazi-ish and they're war torn and crazy, and there's always some really crazy war and suffering going on, but they have time to like sit there as a stormtrooper.
What's my
and
gender identity?
they have time, because the only reason people are able to think these thoughts, and it's because we've been comfortable for 80 years. That's why we're able to have these weird Western thoughts. We're like, man, I have no conflict, I have no strife, and I need to feel fulfilled personally somehow, but I have no interest or hobbies that I can actually express those things. So I'm going to jump right into the popular fad that is right now in the West, and that's how they live their entire life, and that's why they can think that way, is because you can be comfortable. In the Star Wars universe, you cannot be comfortable. Everybody's dying around you, but your biggest issue is that you feel like your identity. It's insane to me.
Well, I thought the entire point of all of the clone troopers is that they don't just look the same. They all think the same.
They're
they don't
the same
have an individuality.
Yeah.
They don't have a personal identity about anything.
Yeah.
So how would this even be possible?
I also love that it's the bad guys, and the bad guys care about inclusivity.
Yeah, interesting.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite part.
See,
And
Brett, they're not actually bad guys.
That's it's shades
very
of Brett.
nuanced.
It was
Thank you guys.
I was telling you before the show. Hold on. If you're watching this in segments, this is because we have received a certain amount of support in Superchats. What it reminded me of, guys, if you remember in Peacemaker, everyone is, it's really funny how Peacemaker's dad gets all this shit for being a racist without anybody ever seeming to care that he turned his son into a murdering psychopath. Like, he's bad because of the racism, meh to the murdering and killing.
Right. I mean, if you've seen Love After Lockup, you know how people feel about these things. Any act is redeemable except for racism, any other ism or phobic, like anything like that. You cannot be redeemed. You should be locked up in the gulag or executed. But if you murdered someone, then you're worthy of love.
That's the story.
You're worthy of forgiveness and love
it's the
and
story.
relationship.
It's the story for like every single production now is there's this guy, he's genocided half of a planet, but it turns out he was just not allowed to be his real self when he was a kid. So he's actually a good guy. And I'm like, at the end as they hug him and he cries, and I'm like, he killed half people. He killed half the people.
It's his trauma. His trauma made him do that. He had a rough upbringing, blah, blah, blah. Like,
I don't want that. I just want you to be evil for the sake of being evil.
And then kill him.
That's cooler.
And then kill him.
Yeah. Like, until Hollywood can prove to me that they can tell a complex story without screwing it up, you better get back to the black and white storytelling.
This is just also on National Coming Out Day. So that's perfect.
Well, also, look, and also this was from, it was Star Wars. I don't even know if that wasn't an official account from the brand.
I looked at the page for the book that they're talking about. It is a real thing, and that is a real character.
It's just, I can't with, there has to be some type of vetting process when if you want to integrate current year issues into stories. I feel like it's best done when it's one person who owns the rights to a property and wants to tell the story himself. The second you start branching off and you've turned your company into a brand the way that Star Wars is, it's not authentic in the same way it is if somebody just happens to write it in there and it's their work themselves.
I'm looking at some of the reviews, and one said, this seems like they outright rewrote much of the pre-existing lore to fit modern day politics instead of the actual narrative.
Well, that's the point. It's for the author. The author is writing it for themselves, and they're not writing it for an actual audience. They're writing it to self-fulfill their own need in their personal lives to make everything about them because they're just filled to the brim with narcissism.
Also, people should know this is being marketed as a kid's book.
Well, of course.
This is a kid's book because it's like 30 pages long and mostly illustrations, and this is what they have intentionally inserted into a kid's book. And when they talk about book bannings, maybe they would be talking about something like this, not Little Women.
It's always about that. It's for some odd reason, it's just got to be about
Interesting.
children. It always has to go back to children.
I do want to remind you that earlier this year on one of their earnings calls, Bob Iger said that they were going to move away from this type of culture war influence. Now, to be fair, it is pretty true that a lot of these things, when they're put to work, are like deep in the pipeline long before they come out. So this was probably...
Axe it.
Yeah.
Don't release it.
I'm just saying, like, you know, how far down
do what
the
David
pipeline?
Zaslav does. Just throw it in the trash. Set it on fire.
David Zaslav isn't exactly hitting it out of the park this year either when it comes to the box office.
I know,
but it's just funny when they're like, we're going to stay out of the culture war. Well, this isn't what you would call staying out of the culture war, and it is a huge distraction to these franchises. Now, it's not like it's showing up in the movies or the shows. But, you know.
But if you listen to the shills, they're going to tell you this has pre-existing lore. This character isn't new because the initial debut of Sister was back in 2022 in a book called Queen's Hope. Sister was featured fighting alongside Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi amid the series Clone Wars. So it seems fans are a little late to the game to be so upset.
Well, and then I guess that's the point, is that so they're not a bad guy. It's not a bad guy. It's a good Stormtrooper, not a bad Stormtrooper.
Well, yeah, you can't. You can't make them bad unless you make them completely redeemed at the end of whatever story you're telling. But this is actually something. If you take that example and you go even further back, there's this weird retroactive like rewriting of history for old books or old lore or old stories where they take androgynous characters and just say they were trans. It's like, oh, there was actually a trans character in this 1934 like drama.
It's like how they talk about.
Like,
well, no, now it's like how they try to rewrite history with Kurt Cobain. They say if Kurt Cobain was still alive, he would be trans.
Why?
Because he wore dresses on stage sometimes.
Yeah.
Because that's all it takes, Mary. It's all it takes.
Okay.
They do this with those types of characters all the time.
I mean, they do talk about
Or
that
with real
even in
people.
regard to like Joan of Arc. They say that Joan of Arc was actually trans because she cut her hair short.
Which is funny because
this is why I'm saying, like, please don't make a movie about her. Please just stay away.
Because you know the whole point of the reason she goes into battle and fights is because she has to show men that their oppression on women, especially
That
trans
a woman
people.
can do anything a man can do. She never went into battle. As far as I know, that's not historically accurate.
As far as I know, she just got brutally killed.
And this type of what happens is Hollywood loves to do these morally relativistic stories that in the hands of really good writers can actually be really interesting if you have the right story, the right medium, meaning like I think that tends to work better long form and television when you have more time to explore those characters. But nothing that I've seen in the last 10 years of Hollywood tells me that outside of a few great writers who might be able to do a character like a Walter White, right? Who can be a bit of a moral relativist and do bad things for good reasons. Outside of a few small examples of that, the rest of the time it just feels like a push towards making degeneracy or bad behavior acceptable rather than showing the ins and outs of somebody whose life, though bad, was also complicated.
Right. I mean, you would see more ruthless, moral objectivist takes in the comments of someone's like, I'm sorry I said the N-word apology video.
Yeah.
You know, I think, you know what, the best thing Star Wars could do, make a sister TV series for Disney Plus.
I'm sure it would do great.
Yeah.
I think it would do great.
That would be their best move.
At this point,
everyone would watch it.
At this point, that's just what I want to see.
You have nothing to lose.
I just want to see the world burn now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got more. Unfortunately, there's more to do.
more.
It's really funny because these stories came out. The other one was like about a couple of days old. But Jodie Turner-Smith, right? Acolyte.
Yeah. Jodie Turner-Smith, who played Mother Anastasia in The Acolyte, which has now been canceled, recently was named one of Glamour's Women of the Year for her trailblazing on-screen performances. And they got into the responses to The Acolyte in this interview, of course. And it's headlined, Jodie Turner-Smith, we don't get to fail upward like a lot of white men. That's what we're leading with.
Of course.
Just a dig at white men. You're totally not obsessed with white men. They're obsessed with you. Got it. So in this interview, she basically said she's mad at Disney because they didn't babysit her and Amanda Stenberg and the rest of the cast of The Acolyte throughout this entire hate campaign.
I pointed out when I tweeted about this, I said the Fortune 500 company isn't coming to save you. They're not.
And they shouldn't need to confiscate your phone either.
What's funny about it is most of the time what this ends up boiling down to, and we'll get into her actual words and everything, what it usually boils down to is them being like, we need therapists on set and we need Disney to speak up. You're in the privileged class that can afford your own therapist.
True.
You don't need Disney to pay for your
Like,
therapist.
no, I need to do Dr. Squatch ads.
It would be hilarious for us to be like, look, Tim, people are really mean to me in the comments sometimes.
Why haven't you said anything to tell them this is unacceptable?
Why isn't there a therapist waiting just off camera when the show is...
Okay, so here's what she said. The Acolyte was unceremoniously canceled, allegedly due to low ratings, but in the weeks leading up to its finale, the cast faced relentless torrents of racist abuse online from so-called fans who couldn't handle a black actor leading a Star Wars series. It's an infuriating cycle. Actors of color are cast in Star Wars projects and are immediately made vulnerable to vicious bigotry. John Boyega, in particular, has been outspoken about his experience with racism while part of the Star Wars sequel trilogy. And I think he said at the time, I'm the only Star Wars actor whose entire experience was defined by his race. So here's what Jodie Turner-Smith had to say. They've got to stop doing this thing where they don't say anything when people are getting effing dogpiled on the internet with racism and bullshit. It's just not fair to not say anything. It's really unfair. It would just be nice if the people that have all the money were showing their support and putting their feet down. Say, this is unacceptable. You're not a fan if you do this. Make a really big statement and just see if any money leaves. I bet you it won't, because people of color, and especially black people, make up a very large percentage of buying power. They might find that it's actually more lucrative for them, but everyone's using woke like it's a dirty word.
This lady should absolutely never, ever, ever, ever work anywhere near the marketing department. She's like, you should come out. They've been doing this for years. Disney and all the actors in every Star Wars spinoff will have a 30-second story on Instagram about how they will not accept any racist paper because 2 people in the comments somewhere.
Ewan McGregor did this.
That's what I'm saying.
With Reva.
Yeah.
For so I guess Ewan McGregor wasn't enough. It has to be Bob Iger who makes the statement. It actually has to be Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse himself.
Oh!
Yeah.
Racism's bad.
Clap back at the haters.
And she's like, and no money will leave. I guarantee. No, yeah. For one, it will, and also, yeah, the demographic you speak of isn't a ton of buying power. Like it just not in Star Wars maybe. And the issue is she makes the statement. She's like, we don't fail upwards like white dudes. And I'm thinking to myself, every single project from every whatever you would label any woke company or whatever, every project that comes out,
they always fail upwards.
The director or the writer wrote a short that was unpopular in 2014, and then they get a Star Wars movie or show out of nowhere. That's literally the definition of failing upwards. That one lady that did that weird song in the Little Mermaid remake. Yeah. Shakalaka, what's her name?
Who did?
Aquafina?
Aquafina. Dude,
she was the only good part of what's it called?
I don't know. She was not the good part of anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Every time I see her, I'm just like, and then she's in every movie. She's like Jack Black.
Yeah.
Or think, I remember Nia DaCosta did the Candyman remake that nobody watched and then got a Marvel
Failing
movie.
upwards. Yeah, but no, this chick just hates white people. I think that's abundantly clear, not just from her dig at white men in general. She admitted in this interview that she moved to America so she could be around more black people.
Thank you, Sylvia, in the chat. Yes, Aquafina was actually mildly palatable in Shang-Chi.
She's not mildly palatable anywhere.
They reined her in Shang-Chi.
Like, can you imagine if I said, I'm going to move to Switzerland so I can live around more white people and not have to deal with all these black people in America? Can you believe the response that kind of comment would get? This chick just hates white people, clearly, but she's hopeful that things are going to change. She said, we're going to get there at some point, to that place where people stop having a stick up their arse, she's British, about people of color being a part of IPs that were created by white people. You know why? Because we're never going to effing stop participating. Being a person of color in the public eye is unforgiving, and actors like Jodie are attacked just for existing. And when ratings aren't as explosive as once hoped, the blame falls on them. Quote, we don't get to fail upwards like a lot of white men. I just feel that some people are allowed to grow and others have to be perfect. And if they're not perfect, people want to tear it apart.
Why do you act so surprised when you say to the audience you hate them over and over, and then they're like, I don't really want to watch this stuff anymore? They're like, oh, you're just being racist, you're angry because we're involved. It's like, no, we're angry and we're just kind of done because we've been shouted down so much. I don't watch it because I'm tired of getting preached to. You will think it's not going to happen, and then it's like 5 minutes left in the film, and then here it comes. And I'm like, dude, I'm not worried about it. I'll watch Top Gun Maverick for the 9th time.
We got a 20 from Cesario JPN. Saw your tweet, Camelot, about District 9. We get Fast and the Furious 4,769 because of the Latino market. Craig Lieberman, a former technical advisor on the films, has a video on YouTube why Fast and Furious went from street racing to action slop.
First of all, I will not accept this Fast and the Furious slander on this podcast.
You're passionate about it?
I do want to look. District 9 has been sitting in my queue for like ages.
No, it's a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's from what I've been told. But there's a funny idea. There's a franchise that's full of diversity. Nobody complains about that.
No.
But they did at one point announce a women's Fast and the Furious movie, and you better believe people were like,
Fast and Furious and female.
Yes. And you know why? Because it's inauthentic. And it's stupid, and it doesn't make any sense. And it's try hard.
But the idea that like Amanda Stenberg got torn apart publicly because she wasn't perfect, and not because she made a stupid rap song about how much she can't handle getting mean comments on Twitter, is just like peak delusion.
Yeah, like, that's the issue. Brett brings up a great point. There are so many movies so many TV shows that are completely drenched in rich diversity. The issue is the characters are written well, and their point of whatever diversity has no bearing on their character and is not brought up and is not used as their only personality trait.
I do want to point out that Will Smith, who's had bad public, favorability since The Slap, came back with Bad Boys this year, and it made it in the top 10 of the box office, and everybody that I spoke to liked it. They did another Beverly Hills Cop movie this year. Everyone liked it. If they race swapped Axel Foley, or they changed Will Smith or Martin Lawrence in Bad Boys, people would be just as weirded out by it.
We have another 20 from Kyle Dixon. Thanks for the feature on Cute of the Day. Take these Frost Bucks as gratitude.
Thank you.
We appreciate your Canadian money.
Your Canadian money. It's just...
Jodie Turner-Smith also tried to help Amandla Stenberg's public image in this, saying that she really cares about the story and the lore. And when she first met Amandla for the show, Amandla gave Jodie Turner-Smith an essay that she wrote about all of the characters, their motivations and inner lives. She said, "I've never worked with anybody who has handed me an essay on their character." The Virgo in me was just like, yes, I'm living for this. And
this will just make
revealed that this joy was short-lived. She put so much care and thought and love into that, and it's disappointing to feel like your studio, Disney, is not having your back in a very public-facing way.
Why does the studio need to have your back?
Why is it
You're
their obligation?
employed to get to go to work, act, and then go home. Do the promotion when they ask you to go promote the movie. It's not their job to... You're an adult.
But it's because corporations need to have ethics.
You're an adult. Like, a full-grown adult. You could go to therapy yourself, or just like...
She's a mother.
Not read it.
Well, to be fair, for the last probably 8 to 10 to 12 years... all these actors or actresses that are in these roles where their entire character arc is about their race or their gender identity or their sexuality, obviously that's shouted down, and they're so used to being protected by everyone around them and the media is starting to get away from that. Yeah. I mean, Toyota announced recently that they're not going to be running any kind of LGBTQ campaigns. And whether you agree or not, or you disagree with that, the issue is these people are so used to being protected. So that's why they're like, why is no one protecting us? And what me and Brett are used to all the time, and Mary a little, but mainly me and Brett, we have to protect ourselves with everything we do in life. Our accountability is 1,000%. Mary's like 99%.
There you go.
You got 1% victim because you're white.
Right.
You're a white girl.
Right. Yeah.
But we are white
and
men.
because I'm a podcaster.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, it's the thing. Like
most oppressed class.
We go through. Whenever I'm editing videos, you go through and you read some of the comments. Now, I don't go through and read the comments, but I catch them on the homepage of the YouTube studio. Just don't read it. Right? Just don't engage with it. And honestly, you make it worse when you engage back with them because it's the internet. They don't actually want to have their opinion changed. They want to troll you. And that's just assuming that these are actual negative comments, not what most of the Acolyte criticism was, which is like, this story makes no sense. The colors look like somebody puked gray everywhere.
It's boring.
And it looks like it was shot at dusk every single moment of every single scene, which is the majority of the criticisms on top of the weird twerking music video, which you didn't have to make.
Right. She actively made the situation like astronomically worse.
Like when
than it needed to be.
When people criticize like me or the show, I just go, that's your right. Okay.
It's like not. It's not even
then.
Our place or anyone's place to tell them how to feel about the comments. Feel any type of way you want. But it's about how you react.
You cannot control what is done. You can only control how you respond.
Yeah, and I enjoy it. I love seeing like hate comments and stuff. That's like my favorite thing.
You love it?
I love it, dude.
Maybe you're a little bit of a psychopath.
Yeah, I like seeing people just try to tear me down. And I think I take pleasure in the fact that it bothers me so little that I enjoy like laughing at, like just reading them and like giggling. I'm like, oh, it's silly.
Look, actresses and actors of different races are succeeding every single day. We talked about Jenna Ortega was dropped into a franchise that wasn't very diverse, Beetlejuice, and was one of the parts of the movie that people liked the most, right? She became Wednesday Addams, and then she went on to do Beetlejuice, and she was in the Scream franchise, another predominantly white franchise that became successful once she joined it. And she even moved on from that. She just left.
Sure,
Well, she does a good job.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
When you're capable, talented, that's what your legacy will be.
Thank you, guys. Well, I didn't even realize until I read through this interview that Jodie Turner-Smith was in the race swapped Anne Boleyn.
Yep.
And she's wondering why people are mad about race swaps.
And that's a whole nother can of worms, the race swapping real life.
Of an actual historical
historical-
like person, yeah.
They love that, and then to say it's alt history.
And we're not gonna stop effing participating, whitey.
All right.
She might as well have ended it like that.
Let's go super chats.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Happy Friday, Brett, Mary, and Mr. Camelot himself. Congrats, Cody, on all of your racing accomplishments in the Beanie Mobile. Keep doing us proud."
The Beanie Mobile.
Yeah, dude.
And did Seamus steal any of your spoons, Cody?
No, luckily not. He's great though.
He was on good behavior. High Voltage 75 said shake and bake.
That's a Talladega Nights reference, Mary.
I don't know.
The movie.
Come on now. What do you just not like good things?
Like Hot Rod.
I guess not.
You only like bad stuff.
No, I just hate everything.
You're like,
That's
I
what
watched
they say.
the Acolyte and I watched this other garbage. I'm like, that sucks. I'm
It's
like,
our job.
have you ever seen the greatest movie of all time? No.
What is the greatest movie of all time?
Step Brothers. You ever seen Step Brothers?
No.
Are you fucking that? See, this is. I'm just.
Even I've seen Step Brothers. I don't even like comedies.
I know.
Oh, it's so good.
Corey Anderson said, "Mary, get your wisdom teeth removed already."
So is that what the general consensus is? We're sitting at 53% of the audience say it's not a psyop.
The poll isn't asking you to tell me whether I should get my wisdom teeth removed. It's just like I want to know your health opinions. Like, is it a big racket? Do people really need to get their wisdom teeth removed? Or is it just like a money grab?
Everything's a money grab.
I don't know.
I can't.
Chiropractor.
Last time I went to the dentist, 9 years old.
Really?
Yep.
I guess
Last time I went
you're
to the
doing
hospital,
fine without them.
I was 27 last time I went to the hospital.
Let's do one more.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Unless you need wisdom teeth removed, it is a pointless surgery. The real psyop is being put under to have them removed. It ain't that bad." I don't know. I probably want to be unconscious for that.
So let's do one more.
Glitch said, "Almost didn't recognize Cody with his shirt on."
Yeah.
Because that's a thing you do, isn't it?
We're a PG show here. Other than the depressing
We
talks
just
about-
dance for money. We don't do distasteful things like take our clothes off.
Hey, I will say that I am like 24th in the world in Superchats all time.
Let's go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's go. Where are we? I
Get
thought
wrecked.
we were.
Get wrecked.
We saw the ranking list.
Not
I
all
forget
time,
where we
though.
were.
There was like a period of time for like a week that we saw the
We
list.
were on it for a minute.
We'll have to check that out. If somebody can find the numbers
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
Let's move on then.
All right. So recently I've seen a lot of videos of OnlyFans creators talking about how much money they make. And they're very reluctant to reveal the exact numbers because they're insane. One of them posted a video of the luxurious mansion that she bought off of her earnings from OnlyFans. And it was captioned, "Adult models are now bragging about using the money they scammed from thousands of random men to buy luxury mansions." And I saw a lot of people take issue with the language. Okay. Are these OnlyFans thoughts scamming men out of their money? Like they're con artists and they're lying somehow?
No, if the idea here is that they're offering you a service, even if all that service is photos, then no, they're not scamming you. They're offering you exactly what you're paying for. Now, whether you believe that the price of those photos is inflated, that's a whole nother discussion.
I will say, I will say that no, absolutely not. They're not scamming. They're actually using what they have to their benefit. But I will say, if you are on the other side of it, if you're one of these men that are paying like $89 for a private video or something like that, you're too far gone.
Do you have the video? It was posted by Matt Wallace.
Yep, I got it here.
A few days ago.
Here we go.
She
I
lays
bought
on
my
the
first
floor.
house, so it's time to quit my job, settle down, and it's time for my trad wife era. Just kidding, but if you guys really think about it, 200,000 men bought me this house. I didn't get this myself. Actually,
it's like somebody at Target, like a CEO being like, "I didn't buy this house myself. A gazillion shoppers at Target bought it for me."
though I'm so blown away. Like, I never would have expected in my life to be able to own a house, so I'm so thankful, guys. Okay, the reason I made this video though, I have no idea where to start in decorating this house. Like, I don't know what furniture to get. I have no idea, and I feel like you guys would have some good ideas. I bought my...
The tax man is gonna screw her.
Yeah, dude.
I can tell you right now, taxes will not be kind to her.
Yeah. Well, some of the comments were saying, oh, men have no accountability now. It was the men's choice to give them money.
This
Even
is true.
Tristan Tate weighed in. He said, unpopular fact, no man who spends money on an e-girl or porn was scammed. Aren't men accountable for their own bad habits? Was I scammed when I bought a 900 euro cigar? Was I scammed when I bought that 7,500 euro bottle of wine? Grow up.
I love the low-key flex at the end.
It was a flex.
Yeah, it was.
But it's also like this guy made money off of his webcam studio with his brother Andrew Tate, and he knows better than anyone how gullible men are.
That's what I'm saying is I don't see anything wrong with what women are doing at all. Look, would I date an OnlyFans girl? No. Would I smash one? Yes. But the difference is the guys that are there should be no market for it. The guys that are keeping it afloat are pathetic, in my opinion.
Let's just ask why wouldn't you date an OnlyFans model?
Because I don't want people to just be a Google search away from seeing her cheeks. And also it's going to eventually lead into shooting scenes with other people. That ain't ever going to happen because everybody be eating 12 gauge then. So I just don't think it's possible. And I wouldn't want to be with a woman that's involved in sex work at all.
Just on its face, like,
right.
It's just too public.
No, it's too much. I make way too much money personally, and it's not a lot, but I make enough money to take care of a woman. You do not need to be spreading your ass cheeks for like poor dudes that have are kissless virgins, right?
Yeah.
So
I think honestly the fact that this person posted the video at all is like, here's what you provided for me. Like, there's this weird thing that the simps have about being providers by proxy of like an OnlyFans subscription or whatever. Like they're like, I feel disempowered as a man, so I'm going to provide for a woman in this weird way, but I'm one of hundreds of thousands of men who are doing the same exact thing.
it's the girlfriend complex. I don't remember who told me about this. I think it was Pipkin or somebody told me about this. Maybe it was Rosa Codal, that a lot of supporters of VTubers, they have this. It's like a girlfriend experience. It's like buying a share of a girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's the strangest thing.
Oh, she's on the stock market. She's on the stock exchange.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get in early.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's negatives to every single aspect of this situation. I mean, there's no amount of money this woman will make where she won't avoid the bowl of 12 gauge when she's 50, and there's no amount of boobies this guy's going to pay for. It's going to make him feel more fulfilled.
I also saw a video of Corinna Koff, one of the top OnlyFans earners, talking about how much she makes in 48 hours alone on OnlyFans. Let's hear it.
Is that I didn't watch the clip. Are we safe
From
to
Alpha
show it on
Fox?
YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just double checking. Here we go.
We're gonna just start OnlyFans. In 48 hours, how much money did you make?
48 hours.
Oh my god.
I made a little over $1 million. And then I gambled to like celebrate, and I won $30,000.
Some people just have all the luck.
Look, like this person, $100 tip. Hey, Corinna, can I get some?
They're laughing at the simps.
Yeah.
Like they deserve to be mocked
Yeah,
for this.
sure, 100%, dude, 1,000%. Look, and I say this because you can like Google any OnlyFans girl. You can Google their name and just go to images, and you will see their boobies. I don't know why people are paying for boobies. It's the craziest thing. And like you said, maybe it's a weird proxy where they think they're supporting them in some weird shape.
Yeah.
Or
No,
form.
it is. There was a great video. I think Modern Wisdom had it years ago. That was like how OnlyFans hacks men's minds, and that's exactly what it is. They know that they could go watch porn for free if they wanted to,
Right?
But there's something about the interactive experience that also plays into the fact that they have large social media followings. So you tether downwards from being one of 2 million people on her Instagram leaving comments to one of an even smaller amount who's paying for interaction with them. And it just fires up something in their brain that bypasses reason, that tells you that this is a bad idea. And this also comes back to, Phil talking about men lacking purpose and how a whole generation of men seem to be lost in the world right now. And if you're absent from the real world and everything you're experiencing is digital, the facade of a real relationship, even as tenuous as fake as something like this may be, the brain does a lot of the heavy lifting there to make it seem like a good idea.
Yeah. You need purpose, and the issue is, and I talk about this a lot on my show, is you need to develop interest or hobbies. And for example, I love writing music. I love playing instruments. Music or guitar, bass, piano, doesn't really matter. I love racing. I love like researching certain aspects of those things. I love writing. There's a lot of things you can flow into to make you feel fulfilled. And we have this, like the last 2 generations of people, they filled their interest with like TV and movies, and that destroyed the entire generation, because you can actually ask people, and this is like no joke, I was on Tinder for years where I would talk to girls like all day, every day, just like a dozen girls just on Tinder all day, and you ask what their interests are, and almost always it was movie, music, or beer. Almost always. And it's the weirdest thing. It's like if you have no interest, you have no substance. And if you end up having no substance or interest, you focus that weird, want of fulfillment into really bad avenues like politics.
Yeah.
And gender identity. Stuff that really doesn't mean anything outside of your personal self, of how you feel about yourself, but you want to like put it on everybody and make it your entire personality. I have friends that, are not friends anymore, but they were friends in my 20s. That really, they played video games, they watched TV, that was their whole life. And then they became radicalized in politics and made their entire personality about politics.
Yeah.
Okay, so they answered movies, music, and beer.
I think the women think they're like they can get men by saying they like beer.
Okay.
Every girl on Tinder is like, oh, my favorite thing's beer. Like every girl on Tinder back then.
Okay.
It was like hot little like 22-year-old blonde girls, and it was always like beer. Like, oh, beer, I love drinking beer girl, all of them, beer girl.
It's kind of bizarre. What would have been a better response when you asked them what their interests were?
A real interest.
Like, what do you consider a real interest?
I mean, it could
outside of consumption.
It has to be putting work into something. Like reading is not an interest. Writing's an interest.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know if I agree with
I've
that.
always said reading is like one, I guess, interest of mine.
Everybody, I can read. Look at this. I can read this.
But I think it involves more than just consumption.
It's like being a discerning reader who has genres they like and consumes books in a more active fashion.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
It's hard to say.
Like for me, it would be skating. I've put 25 years into skating, which is like
100%.
It takes up the majority of my free time, and that's a place where a lot of my activity and my energy goes.
Yeah, that's 100%. Yeah.
As for the OnlyFans debate, the one way I would say the men are actually perhaps getting scammed is because they're under the impression that they are messaging the women that are in the videos and the pictures, when usually for the majority of the ones who are like the top earners, they have agencies, and part of the services the agencies provide are, people usually on the other side of the globe in like India or Bangladesh who are men that they do the private messaging to the OnlyFans subscribers for you, pretending to be you. And the men are on the other end thinking like, wow, she really is like, I'm special, and she's paying special attention to me. And if they're that gullible, yeah, that's kind of your fault. But it is a lie. It is dishonest.
It's dishonest, but how libertarian are you about the free market,
That's
right?
The thing is, I read almost like a long post of a girl that had an OnlyFans, a very active OnlyFans, very successful, that it's, she put it behind her or whatnot. And there was this post about it, and I read it probably 4 days ago, about how she didn't control her OnlyFans at all. It was just some company controlled all of it, and she would just show up, do a thing, and leave, and she never was involved in it. And she was making ungodly amounts of money. Granted, she was only getting a percentage of it. It's almost like, in the VTuber world, they sign with agencies, and they'll make, like, the VTuber themselves will make so much money that it's unfathomable, but they only get like 40 grand out of the 400 they make.
Yeah.
Because the agency gets the rest.
Yesterday, the chick we were talking about who vowed to like hook up with 600 men in a year, she is like grandstanding about how she's going to revolutionize the OnlyFans industry. She started her own agency, so she wants to like be one of the female executives of an OnlyFans agency to give women fairer deals. so that they get a higher percentage of their earnings.
I mean, that's not going to be successful long term because she won't be able to run the brand if she's not taking more of the profits.
Yeah, it's obviously
that
just virtue signaling bullshit.
That or you fall victim to your own greed eventually and realize just how expensive it is to run a company.
She's like, I'm not just a digital streetwalker, I'm an activist.
I'm an activist streetwalker.
Okay, let's finish up these super chats. Shane H. Wilder said, Brett has takes on IRL. Mary and Cody are like, we're just going to sit here and look pretty. Yeah, pretty much.
Well, what it is for me is like, usually I think I don't have anything to say. And then somebody says something like, no.
You have to disagree with them.
I have to disagree. I'm like, no, that's like... or it's simple. It's like, no, the media is evil and you never miss an opportunity to tell somebody that the media is evil and I just can't keep my mouth shut.
You're telling me for the first time.
Yep.
Holly Movie Star said, so how many crisis parties we need to reveal Naked Snake joke? You gave us a tone indicator, so we were sure it was a joke. How many crisis parties then?
We're not going to do naked. I mean, we're not going to have stripping on the
30.
No,
don't say that.
Because
don't say that.
He'll do it. And
30 parties.
No, you're not going to like it if he actually ends up taking his shirt off. So
I don't think we're going to reach 30 though.
That would be a lot. But
I've done that before. I've said some crazy shit and we hit it.
So. I mean, that's like, yeah.
Nate said, is there somewhere I can find a review written by Brett?
No, that's the point. Is I wish I had the organizational skills and the motivation to go do that. Like, what happens is I get up and then I write something, usually as I'm going. What it'd be is like I'll write a review as I'm watching an episode and edit as I go. And then like post it when I'm done watching it. And I just always do it to Twitter. And it gets
You can post articles on Twitter though.
Yeah.
I've seen people do that.
It's I wish, what you're more likely to find is to go to IMDb and find some of my IMDb trivias. I've done some great ones recently.
You should link your IMDb in the description.
Yeah. I wish I could share my IMDb. I wish I had
Is it too
like
personal?
The trivias?
It's too personal.
It's pretty personal, like, the stuff that I end up sharing. Usually I point out
You just
mistakes.
end up writing diary entries in the IMDb trivia section?
Yeah.
Like, I guess.
Womp womp.
But my money gun's broken. A serious man said, love the Batman, great cure for insomnia. Yeah. That was the upside. It helps you go to sleep.
So boring.
Pat the Plumber.
I love the music. I like what it does. It just keeps playing the Nirvana song over and over.
Honestly, Blade Runner 2049, this is going to be like a little bit of a spicy take, but Blade Runner 2049 was not good. The lighting and the music was good. That's it. A serious man, or no, Pat the Plumber said, this degenerate on PCC. Also, hi, Cody and Brett. Yeah, that's
I think
me.
he said the same thing last time. They said Mary would never let such a degenerate on the show. I said, he's not going to be degenerate on the show.
Well, yeah. But if I weren't here, I couldn't enforce the rules. So
now me and Phil were going ham last time.
it's funny how like, we have like a race car driver and like an actual rock star on the show, and we're just like, we're podcasters.
Yep, that's just us.
Katie Did's channel said, hello, Cody. Hope you're doing well. Corey Anderson said, eat the cat. Okay, I'm not going to read the rest of that. The Rumbling said, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, has been using her mommy milkers since 1981 to make a living. I think that guy knows what carbs are, not a carburetor.
Yes, it's really funny because there was like there was a clip from Elvira literally going around on Twitter yesterday that was going viral where she
What clip?
opens a gate with her chest.
Okay. Sirenko Productions, I'm not reading that.
Hey, they said it in the ad, but I get your point.
Robot Dues said, why does Cody still have his shirt on?
This is a lot of super chats to say this.
It's kind of gay.
Yeah, I mean that's specifically for my gay audience, not this gay audience.
Yeah. Rhaegar Targaryen said they said it unironically. Said what?
The men, I think, from that ad.
Oh, yeah. Shane H. Wilder said, cringe, chill, save some ladies for the rest of us. Yeah. I mean, the male feminists really think that it's going to help them get laid, and it really doesn't. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, they get angry, and then they, that's the thing.
I'm a nice guy.
Oh, my God.
20 years of predictive programming from movies where the nice guy's then been there all along and then gets the girl in the end. I'm like, that's not how that works.
Yeah, you'll always notice that when a guy's arrested and charged with some kind of assault, if they're a popular podcaster or maybe a political commentator, they're always an openly male feminist every time, and it's because they think they're owed. They're like, well, I've worked.
I've done so much for you.
Yeah, I've done so much to support your cause. You owe me, and they start assaulting them. And it's like they like, look at how much I did.
Body language you just used.
Yeah.
That's how grabbing. They're just grabbing everything.
Grabbing everything. Get them draws off. Yeah. So that's what it is, dude. They expect that.
Even I've been saying this for years. Just never trust a male feminist.
Don't do it.
It's creepy.
No, absolutely not.
Never ends well.
No,
Corey Anderson said that commercial was gay. I will only vote for a lady if she is hot. Sorry if this twists some thongs, but that is the truth. F Kamala, fire emoji.
He actually typed out fire emoji. That's the best part. Thank you, Corey Anderson.
Okay. Alejandro Reyes said, I have a Star Wars friend I love to make fun of using all the Disney crap. She has been a fan since the originals and is just held captive.
That's rough.
It's basic self-care to just stop watching after a certain point. Potatoes for Seamus said, have y'all tried the new Coca-Cola Oreos?
Okay, so I have a story.
Did you?
I did in fact try the Oreo Coca-Cola a while ago, and it was gross. Last night I tried so they have Oreo flavored Coca-Cola and Coca-Cola flavored Oreos.
And there was also the Slurpee, right?
Well, I didn't try that one.
Coca-Cola Oreo.
But I tried the Coca-Cola flavored Oreos last night. And it tasted like you're a slob who spilled some Coke on an Oreo. That's what it tastes like.
Dude, there's this is unrelated but kind of related. There's a Dr. Pepper Slim Jim.
Yes.
And it was, I took one bite out of it and I threw it in the garbage at the gas station.
I couldn't believe how much it actually tasted like Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be something else and it was awful.
It was like, I took a taste of it. And I literally had almost like a mental breakdown where I looked at it and I'm staring off into the distance. I'm like, maybe science has gone too far.
But it doesn't sound good. Like,
No.
I don't know what you expected.
Well, there's also Dr. Pepper baked beans.
Oh.
That's a thing. There's been some down in the pantry.
Did you guys see the drink that Dua Lipa made for herself? It's it's a Diet Dr. Pepper, I think, and then she puts in like pickle juice, and then she also puts in like jalapeno juice and jalapenos, and she actually drinks that shit.
I mean, I've heard from more than a few people that I don't know about the jalapenos, but like putting pickles, like the flat pickles into a Coca-Cola is actually pretty good. But I'll pass.
Oh, you know what? I love fried pickles.
Those are good.
Oh my god, dude! I think about them and immediately start like getting like chill bumps.
We can go get some fried pickles after this episode.
Dude, let's do that. Yeah, we're doing that.
And fried Oreos.
That's
I don't know about the fried Oreos, but
God, that's great.
Corey
I'm so
Anderson said, Mary still owes us Astro boots. Wear blue, please. I did wear the Astro boots, though.
She did.
Remember?
I remember.
However long ago that was.
Yep.
I can't tell you which episode, though. Nate said, I believe if Cobain was alive, he would be trains. He would be a train.
Oh.
Mom just said they purposely picked a Star Wars character that would have to hide who they are because with that tech, anybody else would just go get a real sex change. Seriously. Are there sex changes in the Star Wars universe? Are there double mastectomies in Star Wars?
It's not happening, Mary. That doesn't happen, okay?
K-Toth Swiss. I don't know if I said that right.
K to the Swiss.
Oh, K to the Swiss. Sent us $5 without a message.
Thank you.
Thank you. Shane H. Wilder said these are the people trying to say Lincoln was gay.
Yeah, it's in reference to Anne Boleyn.
Yeah.
All that stuff. And Cleopatra. Infinite other examples where
Cleopatra was gay.
No, but
No,
she's
that
been
she
race
was black.
swapped, and they love to do this to real world characters. Remember, the King of England was black and disabled.
He was Kangs. Tacti Platty said John Boyega is stupid and sucks. Does he?
John Boyega.
Paid that close
I
attention.
was so excited when I watched The Force Awakens. The movie was 6.5 maybe. But I was like, this is gonna be really cool to watch this ex-Stormtrooper become like a Jedi. It's gonna be really cool. And then like then they did not go in that. He was just a simp chasing Rey around, and then he became only, and it's something that Disney always does. He became straight up just comedic relief. He's like the black guy screaming.
Yeah.
That's like what he became. And I'm like, dude, you had such a good opportunity to make Finn this like defected Stormtrooper that came out and became a Jedi and just freaking rules. And they're like, nah, we're just gonna make him funny guy that screams. And I'm like, oh, great.
I don't
cool.
know. To me, like, even that premise just sounds stupid about the Stormtrooper becoming a Jedi. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't.
Wait,
you know
what you're talking about?
But like, I'm an authoritarian, so of course, like, I'm on the side of the Empire.
Yeah.
Or I guess it was what was it renamed? The
Nazi Germany.
They renamed the Empire in the sequel
order.
trilogy to something else.
The First Order or something.
The First Order.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a character called Kyle Katarn from the Force, the Jedi Knight games. I believe he was like kind of a neutral / bad kind of guy, and he became a Jedi. I could be wrong, but I remember loving those games.
Surenko Productions said, I'd bet $230 million that people would have loved a Star Wars lead by John Boyega and Gina Carano. It's not racism. It's not sexism. It's bad woke writing.
They'll just ignore the fact that people's biggest criticism was that Finn didn't get the storyline he deserved.
I agree. I still agree to that. I think Finn could have been I think he could have been a really cool addition, but they just did the same thing they always do.
Pop Culture Junkie said, geez, Mary, I thought I had the world's biggest Tumblr. I guess not. Yeah, I have my Stanley with me at all times. Shane H. Wilder said, Cody only likes hateful of gay comments.
Maybe that was supposed to be handful.
Okay, I don't know. Fifi Gigantor said, hey, Cody, you should talk to Tim about doing some West Coast races next year while you're there. I'd love to be able to see you race in person.
Yeah, we'll be racing in Phoenix in March, so come out and see us.
And Yurishima Otaru said, unless teeth are being displaced, it's unnecessary. It seems like it's just a...
Yeah. If them bastards start coming out and stuff, and you can feel them on your tongue, fuck it, who cares?
Marco said, will Tesla's robots be tipping OF in the future? Will they be OnlyFans subscribers?
It will be taken over by AI.
I think they'll be the ones running the chats.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Could you imagine? No, this is what's going to happen. We're going to go past that because that's going to happen too. That's already happening probably. The Tesla robots will eventually be skin suited to where it's indistinguishable, and then they'll be running their own OnlyFans, and then you can just buy them, and then we won't need women anymore, and then they can incubate and have babies. We can get rid of like women and just have AI robots.
We can get rid of like women.
This be obsolete.
Yeah, dude. She'll just come in and be like,
they're able to like water plants and
yeah.
They can make you cocktails, and I
spaghetti.
think they can make you spaghetti. They can fold laundry, open doors,
polish you off. So like that's gonna be the main thing. She comes in with a bowl of spaghetti, a White Claw, and she's like, "Do you want me to polish you off?" You're like, "Yeah."
It's like the Andrew Tate video. It's just that one clip where he's like 9 months to make a baby. It's like if a man was doing it, they'd do it in 2.
Yeah, exactly.
No, he was like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Alejandro Reyes said, it's not great being awake and having them... I'm not going to say that. But I also like not being unalived due to anesthesia. Anesthesia doesn't kill you.
There's a small percentage chance that you just die.
Again,
Maybe I'm okay with
that's
that.
the same logic I have with planes. Never think you're going to die in such an interesting way.
It's not really interesting, though.
But low percentage, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're much more likely to die in a car accident. Like, way more likely.
Oh, of course. You're more likely to die of almost anything. I was getting struck by lightning. There is a small chance, though.
Yep.
And it's
every time we fly, I'm like, don't worry. We're not lucky enough to die in such a
Man, we had turbulence on the way here.
A little bit.
It was like for like 10 minutes. I'm like, is this going to be the one? Like going to Timcast.
See, when that happens to me, I kind of, because I know there's nothing I can do, I just disengage. Where it's like, in any other life-threatening situation, you freeze because you're like, maybe there's something I could actively be doing to prevent myself from dying. If the plane's going down, it's going down. I'm just like,
I think I would accept it like really fast.
Yeah. Well, you don't have a choice.
Well, when I was working at GameStop in 2007, I was working on Halloween night, and these guys came in with like revolvers and stuff,
Oh.
And it was in a very bad neighborhood, right beside Tuscaloosa Avenue. And no shit. No, and this guy comes up and puts his revolver on my temple. And he's like, where's the bags? Because I opened the register, obviously. And we used to have these things like bag drops. If we had a lot of money done that day, we'd do cash drops. We didn't have any. No cash drops. And he's like, where's the bags? And I'm like, there is none. And he was like digging his revolver into my temple. And like, I had this, weird shift from panic. It was a very quiet panic to completely accepting it.
It's like, if this is how it ends, this is how it ends.
This weird wave of like relief and like
no more bills.
Something I don't remember what it was. It's like this really. It's like a very calming feeling.
Yeah.
And I just was sitting there, and then the door chime went off, and they were gone, and I was like, oh well, damn.
Yeah.
Wait,
it's really funny.
They just left?
I gotta mention Matt. Matt in the chat mentions April 26, 1992. Yes, that is the song that mentions Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Oh,
is that the only time a gun has been held against your head?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully
I've
the
been
only
robbed several times, but that was the only time they pushed it into my temple.
Well, Corey Anderson sent us a 20 saying, please make members only videos of Mary playing video games. Brett Cooper, the hot Brett, does it, and it is hilarious. Also, Mary, you are too attractive. I'm going to need you to scar up your face and to reduce your prettiness. That's
morbid.
Yeah.
Hey, Mary, you're too pretty. Kill yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
They want you to
Thank
become
you.
the Joker.
Why so sweet?
If you want to know how I got these scars, a super chat said I was too attractive, so I had to cut my face.
Yeah. Not sure how I feel about that. I don't know, man. I'm not a gamer.
Well, that's the point.
I know that's the point, but it's not even entertaining, right? Because I can't, like, I'm bad at it, right?
Yeah, you'd rather read.
I'd rather read or do something uninteresting like that. High Voltage 75 said, Cody, congratulations on living out your dream as a NASCAR driver. Do you still dress up as a furry and go to furry conventions?
I do not.
Is this a thing that you once did?
Like
you're a furry?
Yeah, no.
A former furry?
So my old roommate, her job was she built fursuits, and she would do.
That was her job?
Yeah, she would commission them. She would get them commissioned, and she charged like $4,000 or $5,000 for these things. So she would I would go into her room or knock on her door, open her room, and she would have just heads and like suits hanging. And she would go to conventions.
It's like a butcher.
Yeah, and she would have a table at conventions to get people like commissions to sell stuff and whatnot. She'd have pre-made paws and pre-made stuff. So one time she was like, "Hey, I want you to go to Anthrocon in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, somewhere, Pittsburgh, whatever." And she's like, "I'm going to build you a fursuit," and I'm like, well, I don't want to do that, but I'll go. And she's like, no. So she, over the course of months, she convinces me, and she's like, yeah, you could sell it after a while. It's expensive. And I was like, all right, whatever. So I go and I put on this freaking fursuit, and everybody's like right here to me, and I'm not that tall. Like it was just everybody's little.
What, they're children?
No, they're either 48 and gay men, or they're like 14-year-old girls.
Okay,
that's the difference. So anyways, yeah, I went, and it was goofy. It was fun. It was felt like a convention. And then she moved to California years ago, so no, I still have that fursuit though.
Really?
It's in
storage. Are you planning to use it?
No.
Ain't
no way. You're not weighed 140.
What was your persona?
What was it called? It was called Hector the Dragon, I think.
You were a dragon furry. But they don't have fur, they have scales.
Yeah, but it was furry.
Okay.
It had horns though, I think.
But it does now.
All right.
There's pictures. There's forums that have pictures of me on there. It's funny.
Interesting.
I thought it was a goofy little thing. Yeah.
So there was no criminal activity going on. Nothing untoward.
I think people misconstrue a lot of it. There's no banging in that stuff. Those suits are so expensive.
I don't know, because I saw this one furry convention had to put up signs telling people they needed to be like tested for STDs because they had an outbreak of
I feel like
actual HIV.
Well, they were probably doing that in their like party rooms, but not with
party
the
rooms.
fursuits are hot, man. I was like, you go to these things called headless lounges, and you have to take the head off every 10 minutes. Take the head off and like put vents on you because it's like 1,000 degrees.
Headless lounges.
Yeah, so everybody goes in there and takes off their head so they can, because you don't want to ruin the mystique, so you can't take off your head everywhere else.
Oh, okay. It's about like breaking the immersion experience of the Anthrocon. You can't. Okay.
It was a goofy little thing. I thought it was fun.
Learn something new every day.
I don't know how people do that like in their free time and spend thousands of dollars doing that. I just did it because she's like, go with me. I'm like, all right.
Okay.
Thought it was a fun little thing.
High Voltage 75, or no, Nate said, I pay y'all because I think it supports you. It does.
It does.
You're
the
right.
show is on the air because of that.
Spartan Bot said, parasocial relationship is the term, Cody, for the girlfriend experience, I guess.
That's the overarching umbrella term for every creator or celebrity that has some kind of contact with their fan base. That's parasocial. But it might have been Rosa. I think it was Rosa that told me that there's a girlfriend experience. Like they actually call it the girlfriend experience.
It's like a higher tier on the subscription list. Yeah. Corey Anderson said, Mary, start an OF where you talk about your OF Excel spreadsheet. Cody, you need to wax your mustache. Mary Olivia Claire, you won't do any better. Wow. There's a lot there.
Thank you.
Anything to say about that? Okay. I remember like Lydia started an OF as a joke, right?
Yeah, when she left Timcast.
After she left. Yeah. And I thought it was funny, but at the same time, I just don't want people to misconstrue it. And then over the years, it's just like, it's a game of telephone where they're like, she used to have an OF, right?
Yeah, it would get lost in translation down the line.
There's no use trying to explain yourself. Yeah. But that is a funny idea.
I'd be tempted though. So if I started one as a joke, and then people started like DMing me on there and like trying to offer a transaction of $1,000 for like my asshole pics. I don't know, man. I might be like,
you would do it.
Like
he's like, I mean, $1,000 is $1,000.
Full Nikocado avocado.
Yeah, whatever. And that's funny you bring that up because everybody's like, it was an act this whole time, and I'm like, what was the asshole pictures an act? Because those were rough. Dude looks like he got freaking hit by a rocket.
They told you to remove your mustache. Are you planning to do that anytime soon?
Yeah, once my diet's over, I probably will.
Okay.
I like to have it at the end of the year. It's fun.
Christian Best said, "Love you, Camelot. Two for the Goomba."
Thank you for not doing that on Timcast, by the way.
Potatoes for Seamus said, Mary has a crush on Cody. Are these wedding bells? And then a taco emoji.
Yeah, she told me earlier.
Yeah, it's true.
Mm-hmm. We talked about it.
Wilder said, if your only interest is consumption, you might want to see a doctor. No one wants to die of TB. In all seriousness, have active hobbies.
Yep.
But I don't think reading is the same thing as just watching a TV show. Like, I don't think that's a comparison.
I would agree that it uses a different part of your brain and one that is probably objectively better for you.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely are building a world in your brain without it being spoon-fed to you.
Right.
I see it as a medium of consumption. That's because like everybody has the outlet. I mean, we can all do it, and it doesn't really take. Now this might be offensive. I don't really know. I don't read this. There's a good point here. I don't read books, but
can you read books?
Yeah. I can't read, no. From Alabama, but it doesn't. You don't have to really put work into it. You can pull up a book and you can enjoy it and whatnot. Whereas interest in hobbies, it takes a lot of time depending on what it is to get proficient at it, especially to where it becomes profitable in your daily life. So and it doesn't have to lead to profit. I'm not saying it does. I'm just saying like
all you care about is money.
Yes, but I mean. They can't see the table right now.
While I'm actively stacking money.
Yeah. So that's what putting a lot of work into something like playing guitar or something like playing an instrument. That stuff takes years. Like I saw Brittany Venti. He's like, I want to learn how to play guitar or piano or something. Can anybody teach me on Twitter? And I'm like, it doesn't work like that. Like you have to want to do those things. And they take years to become proficient. Years.
It's way better if your parents just force you to do it.
Yeah.
When you're young.
Yeah, I didn't. My parents didn't do nothing. I just one day I heard System of a Down. I played the Hypnotize album that just came out.
Yeah.
And I listened to it and I was like, I want to play guitar.
I mean,
so now you do?
Yep.
Nice.
It's like my parents got me into sports at a young age, and that was good as well. You develop a lot of skill sets when you are forced into sports, which I guess we weren't forced into sports.
No gentle parenting.
In Minnesota, you play sports because that's what you do. But,
yeah.
Jesse Saxon sent us $1.99 without a message. Thank you. Hiroshima Otaru said Mary is correct about Blade Runner 2049. Thank you. I gave that take back in 2017 when it came out, and I got absolutely dragged for it. Because back then it was like the incel movie. They were like, you would never understand.
You're a woman.
You're a woman. You would never understand why I love this movie. Shane H. Wilder said Sorenko got, and I'm not reading that, to confession. That might be a first. Yeah. A serious man said Oreo Coke is legit. Strawberry Dr. Pepper is better. Strawberry Dr. Pepper is a thing?
Yep.
I don't drink soda. I don't remember what they taste like.
I don't either. Shane H. Wilder said, try the Dr. Pepper baked beans. They were gross. Yeah, you didn't really need to try them to find that out.
Yeah.
Sorenko Productions said, hey, it's Mary that's causing scandal by accusing me of sending untoward messages. All I said was the opposite of empty-necked with a bunch of emojis. LOL. Wait, I don't even know.
It was the
what this was
drilling in the...
No, it was the other thing. I don't even remember anymore. I forget your super chat as soon as I read it. Rhaegar Targaryen said, ask him if he has had Beetlejuice Fanta.
He doesn't drink soda. But you should not drink the Beetlejuice Fanta. It tastes exactly like a
car
craft
freshener,
store. No, it
right?
tastes like a craft store smells.
I know that's like, I've tasted a lot of things in the past that have that weird craft store smell taste.
Yeah, it's just apple cider. It's gross.
What?
It's like somebody was beating you to death with a Yankee Candle.
Nice.
Yeah.
That'd be an effective weapon. Those things are heavy.
It would.
Shane H. Wilder said Cody needs some fried pickles, okra, and tomatoes.
Yeah, dude.
Fried okra is bad though.
Oh no, dude, I love it.
Put a girl on said, guess there's no more something left over guy. Sad. Something left over guy will be back next week. Don't worry about it. Anthony Beersford. I don't know if I said that right. We eat our kangaroos and emus in Australia. How do they taste?
Yeah.
Shane H. Wilder said, damn typos. Cody only likes comments when they are hateful or homoerotic.
Yes.
Okay.
Didn't we eat? What did we have when we were? Oh no, we had like sweets when we were on that episode of IRL with.
Yeah, but he brought a paperweight or maybe a bottle opener that was made of actual kangaroo testicles, like real.
Yeah.
But he brought kangaroo meat and candies.
Yeah.
I did not try the kangaroo. I don't think I did. Red Snow said, wisdom teeth are a psyop. I never had any. I thought everyone had them. Okay. The Manic Mustache said, no Cuomo, but the sound of Cody's southern draw has me craving an RC and a moon pie. Stay toxic, my friends.
Lots of soda discussion today.
Dude, we live, I lived through a strange generation where when I was a kid, where I lived was nothing but dirt roads for miles until you get to the main road 278, which was 2 lanes back then. It's an interstate now. But when I grew up, it was just dirt roads. And I remember riding my bike like half a mile down the dirt road to what was called the Crossroads Food Mart. It was literally a tiny little shack with one of those crank fuel pumps out front. And they had the RC Cola and moon pies. It was like 25 cents.
There you go.
And I'd go down there and get one like all the time when I was like 7 years old.
Beautiful.
And no supervision. I get on my bike and do half a mile down the dirt road to the Crossroad Food Mart. It's crazy. An old guy's 100 years old named Hoyt. He ran it.
Of course his name was Hoyt.
And behind him
I have
was
a kid named Wade.
Yeah, there was these little like things hanging. It was just like random belts for like belt fan belts for cars just hanging behind him, but no labels on them. It's crazy, man. It's good times.
Yeah.
Back when like it was like 25 cents for a gallon of gas.
It was no joke. It was like 84 or something.
Yeah.
Under $1.
Yeah. Rhaegar Targaryen said, in boot camp, everyone pretty much gets their wisdom teeth extracted. Since mine weren't that bad, I had to wait until I got to the fleet on a 10-month deployment. Brett Cooper is the hot Brett. Okay, you didn't have to reiterate it. That's very rude.
Look, I am comfortable enough. It's fine.
You're secure in your masculinity.
It's fine.
Headbutt Studio said, I got kidnapped at knife point once. Whoa. I was so mad because I thought I was going to die right after paying off my credit card. I could have spent that cash.
I love the idea that somebody's like, they hit send on their final student loan payment and then just die.
Get mugged and they die. Put a girl on said, if I'm in a furry costume, will I make cute of the day?
No.
Definitely not.
No.
Potatoes for Seamus said, okay, I'm not reading that. Shane H. Wilder said, damn it, potatoes. Alejandro Reyes said, you could mine the hell out of corn subscription sites for fascinating social science data. Probably a lot of uncomfortable truths about banned subjects.
Probably true.
I wonder what. Corey Anderson said voice messages.
We'll be doing it next week. So if you are a member of the Timcast Discord, you should go to the PCC call-ins section and leave a voicemail. And remember to not put other stuff in there other than your voice messages. Otherwise, we won't be able to do this. So go ahead and do that, guys. And we will do it next Thursday.
They're not actual call-ins because
No.
we can't trust you.
Yeah.
Shane H. Wilder said, reading is an active hobby. It takes more brain work than watching TV all day. I do woodwork, memes, and write. Memes is a valid interest.
Yeah, woodwork's definitely one,
Like
for sure.
half of my time spent on YouTube is watching like really interesting woodworking shorts.
I'll watch like restoring old like 1920s random shop tools and stuff. Yeah.
Cleaning rugs from like the 1800s that are just filthy, and it takes like a gazillion hours to clean it.
Unclogging street drains that are flooded. Oh,
and of
bro.
course, as always, power washing videos.
Oh,
There's
dude.
nobody more combative than a professional power washer.
I have the same feeling when I watch somebody power wash a street that I do when I see like a giant pair of turd cutters. It's the same feeling.
It's the same thing as like when you watch somebody fill in a picture with colors, right? It's satisfying to watch it.
Yeah, dude.
I just get like Trump memes and cat videos. I don't know what you're talking about.
YouTube shorts.
Yeah, but I don't even look at YouTube shorts. Potatoes for Seamus said, Mary finally gonna get that Taco Bell wedding, Cody. Yeah, this is the running joke if you were unaware.
It has been shipped. No going back.
Potatoes for Seamus said, Brett, are you gonna review the new Terrifier?
No, I don't think we're going. I haven't seen the first two Terrifiers. But
I didn't even know.
I do know that they're saying that it's probably going to unseat Joker already this weekend, and it only cost just but a couple million to make.
Those movies are fantastic.
Yeah.
I hung out. I used to talk to this girl that was in the first Terrifier.
Really?
She's the little emo, like black-haired, short-haired girl.
Okay.
She used to live around where I live.
It's really funny. I was so everybody, like, depending on who you follow, they're making like their a lot of people. If you're really into horror movies, they post like a clip a day leading up to Halloween. And somebody pointed, they were showing the Randy death from Scream 2 today, and I pointed out to them that to this day, I still say like I say fuck you the exact way he says it in that scene when he's talking to Ghostface out in the corner. He's like, fuck you. I still do that. That movie came out in 1997.
It really stuck with you.
It really stuck with me. It's like limbic trigger. If I'm saying the F word, if I'm telling it to you, I'm going to say it that way.
For me, it's that monologue from The Social Network where he's like, my fuck you flip-flops.
See, everybody's got that. That's why movies are so powerful.
Yeah. Corey Anderson said, when do you say your prayers? Mine are at bedtime. Same.
See, okay, so fun fact. So when I was watching the Batman yesterday, and he's doing the thing at the beginning where Batman's walking around the crime scene, and like he's just been read the riddle. But it, like, in my opinion, it was kind of funny how long it took him to give the answer. I was like, I feel like Batman should have known the answer to the riddle right away rather than waiting for a couple of minutes, pondering it.
Yeah.
Well, he's not superhuman.
And he's like young, brand new Batman in that, right?
I don't care. I don't care.
If not, just to make the runtime shorter.
Yes,
like we don't have to wait longer.
Well, no, they did the Riddler in Batman Forever. Underrated Batman. I don't care what anyone says, with Val Kilmer and Nicole Kidman and Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones, and you know he knows the answers to the riddles pretty quickly and stuff, and I like that. It's better. Bring Val Kilmer back.
A serious man said Dasovic is the cool Brett.
There, perfect. Thank you. We're at equilibrium now.
Who's the most famous Brett?
Brett Favre, probably. Brett the Hitman Hart. Brett the Hitman Hart was a pro wrestler, and Brett Favre was a football player, quarterback for the Green Bay Packers.
No idea.
Played for the Vikings at the end of his career.
200 Watt Studio said, "Hey Cody and Mary, oh Brett there as well."
Yes, that is me.
Damn.
Disrespectful
also,
today.
we are very close to that fifth crisis party. So if you're gonna keep disrespecting me, you should at least get to the fifth crisis party.
At least pay him.
Yeah.
Okay, while you disrespect him.
Pay me.
Brett
to be
deserves
disrespected.
this.
It's like a prostitute.
He's earned this. Potatoes for Seamus said Cody sounds like Cal Newton Jr. from Ricky Bobby.
Talladega Nights, yeah. The movie you haven't seen.
Ricky Bobby.
200 Watt Studio said shout out to Cody and the award-winning Cyberfrog art car.
Oh yeah.
It's really funny. Somebody in the chat Matt again mentions Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. If you've ever seen Ace Ventura, and somebody made a great Halloween costume where half of him is Finkel and half of him is Einhorn.
I saw that. I saw that recently. Yeah,
because it's in the movie. Finkel is transgender. And becomes Einhorn, or Einhorn becomes Finkel.
If you try to watch any of those movies now, there's like a disclaimer and a trigger warning at the very beginning of the movie, and it's like this movie was made during a different time when we weren't comfortable for 20 years.
Because Ace Ventura sleeps with.
There was like a gay panic
Einhorn, and it's a gay panic thing. Yeah.
That had a weird moment back then. Carnell said, "Hail Cody, question for everyone. Would you rather suffer through watching Joker 2 or subject yourself in watching Vera Drew's The People's Joker?"
That's easy. People's Joker just because of the memes, man. Easy.
Yeah, I would say the same, but we already had to suffer through Joker 2, so it's too late. Shane H. Wilder said, prayer in the morning and evening. I'll be at Adoration tonight. If anyone needs any prayers, pray for this show.
Yes.
Yeah, we need it. 200 Watt Studio said, disrespecting Brett is the most respect he gets. What's with the hate?
They're being kind of rude today.
Ever since Brett got back.
No, they were fairly nice yesterday. Maybe this is like a weird type of overcorrection because they were actually nice yesterday.
Red Snow said, "Lil something for you. Don't spend it all at once."
We can do that, and I'm gonna make you guys hang out until we get to the 5th Crisis Party.
That Stanzatastic said, "With a mustache like Mike Lindell, do you have a MyPillow promo code?"
I meant to grab one of them when I was at Tim's place. Should have grabbed more.
There are like a billion, right?
Yeah, they're everywhere.
I've driven by the MyPillow headquarters before.
Where is it?
It's Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Weird.
Yep.
I gotta be honest. I tried the MyPillow. I don't like it.
Didn't like it.
Feels weirdly lumpy.
I like mine to have almost nothing. Like it's almost like a sheet.
That's the worst.
Really? That's
like a sheet with like a little substance, and I'll just wrap it up and just.
No, see, mine is the opposite. I like one that's like super thick, but then like I use it until it's basically flat.
I don't like the ones that are freaking thick, man.
Do you have a yellow pillow?
What she said. No.
Like all men.
I got rid of my yellow pillow. I was like 20.
No, because
or navy sheets.
I was
God
25,
forbid.
25 or 26. I got rid of my yellow pillow.
Okay.
I think I did have.
We all had these.
You had navy sheets or you had a yellow pillow?
Navy sheets,
but not
a yellow pillow.
Okay.
Oh, not anytime recently.
Yeah, the navy sheets are like that's a coming of age moment. Yeah. Like you got to get rid of those.
Why did our pillows they turn yellow?
Because you didn't wash
it. It's not our pillows. It might just be.
I'm like I wasn't like having sex with the pillow. I don't understand.
It's because you don't use a cover on it and you don't wash it.
That's true. Yeah.
Men hate pillowcases.
Okay, so I have no problem with pillowcases, but what happened is like having ones that are undersized, so it's like always coming out of the pillowcase, and you're like in the middle of the night while groggy and half asleep, I'm like trying to fix it as I'm falling asleep because it's falling off. It's a mess.
It's a very fixable problem. Okay, what was the last one? Shane H. Wilder said, "Got it, Mary. Show prayers added to the list." Thank you.
Thank you.
That Stanzatastic said, "Use promo code Naked Snake." And Serenco Productions said, "My pillows are not lumpy." Is this Mike Lindell speaking?
Yes, it is.
Hello. 200 Watt Studio said, "Everybody gets drunk at a bar Brett goes to so they can tolerate to look at him."
See, I need Tim to protect me from these comments because
he needs
I'm
to stand up for
an
you.
adult
This isn't right.
child. It's my boss's job to protect me from you douchebags.
And you a fake fan.
Yeah, for sure.
You're not a real crisis actor. No, Potatoes for Seamus said, which Lord of the Rings character would be?
I'd be Gollum. Clearly, judging by everyone's opinions today, I'd be Gollum. So
no, I've gotten Gollum too many times. I can't say any other one.
I'd be Galadriel, I think.
You think? Because you're a girl boss.
Yeah.
So that make you Guy Ladriel. It's perfect.
No, I'd just be her. I'd be her in the movies, not the show. I'd just stand there being all pretty and stuff.
That Stanzatastic said, "My pillow, Boom or Doom?" I would say Doom.
Doom.
Never seen this one. What is that?
Gurulgar.
Gurulgar? Gulgar said, with a mustache like that, Camelot, do you play Roblox and Minecraft?
No, I don't play anything, man.
What does that have to do with your mustache?
I don't really know. Oh, it probably means because I like kids or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a very untoward comment about him.
Wow. The attacks today. Potatoes for Seamus said, calm down, Brett. Don't get short with us. Ooh.
Oh my God, bro.
He had that one waiting.
Yep.
He had that prepared. He practiced it in the mirror.
I mean, I would deflate from your meanness, but I'm already short enough, so that doesn't even make any sense. I'd be even shorter.
We did get to the 5th crisis party. It just hasn't.
Well, now I'm not
going
to let them see it because they're being jerks.
Okay.
So, time to go, guys. See you on Monday. No, guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video? Subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. If you're being a jerk to me in the comments, knock it off already.
Take a hike.
Take a hike. And Camelot, my friend, thank you.
Oh, dude, it's fun.
Let everybody know where they can find you.
I love it. Oh, man. Camelcast off on Twitter. It's my 4th or 5th Twitter account now. I'm so
maybe don't say that publicly.
I'm so unjustly banned. No, it's not me. It's my racing account.
Okay.
But it's not ran by me. It's ran by Brett. And no, but you can follow me on there. You can also follow me on Camelot 331, my YouTube channel. A lot of fun. So get me on there. And also, after I dance, one more announcement.
Crisis.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat.
All right, continue.
And also, the art for my book will be finished for the pre-order launch in either the 1st or 2nd week of November, and we'll be having a bunch of launch parties on different channels. So make sure you follow me so you can find out what's going to be like, because it's going to be wild.
We have several more super chats. That Stanzatastic said, excuse me, that is a cowboy mustache, not a PDF one.
Thank you.
The last of my kind said Finn should have kept the armor and let it slowly get more, and note red with the blood of the Empire, being a Jedi not needed.
Pretty good idea.
Never gonna happen though. Shane H. Wilder said Potatoes quit talking about Brett's height.
It's rude.
It's not fair.
It's rude.
200 Watt Studio said Brett isn't short, but his bus is. Wow.
Frankly, I just think we're going to cancel Monday's show.
I think we're out of here.
Yeah.
Alejandro Reyes said, I have never seen or heard of Euphoria outside of here. Had no interest until you mentioned Sydney Sweeney. I thank you in advance, Brett. Well, I was the one who mentioned it, not Brett.
Not me.
But I don't think either of us have watched it. Daniel J. Corica said, please pray for my cat, Bernie Sanders. He is illy.
I'm guessing.
Okay, ill. Yeah. Yes, I will pray for Bernie Sanders, if
Prayers
that's
up.
truly his name. Potatoes for Seamus said, Brett, we love you ever so much. Forgive us, Father.
I'll have to think about it.
They're rebelling. Red Snow said, I hear Brett is a lovely fellow and smells nice.
That is absolutely true.
It's a word on the street.
Yeah.
Okay, we have more. That Stanzatastic said, did you make your house reference today?
Have I made?
Don't think it happened today.
I don't think I made any house references today. Perhaps check Twitter. Maybe I'll make
yesterday.
one there. Yeah.
Dr. Larsena said, sorry, Brett, didn't mean to irritate you yesterday. It's just that everyone else was being too nice back then. But now I feel bad. Just kidding. Still love y'all, though. No homo, Brett.
Well, thank you.
It's a lot.
I don't think I was. That was the stuff about both sides yesterday that we were talking about. Look, we disagreed. I was not irritated. We just disagreed.
Red Snow said, also, I hear Brett praises Space King.
Well, I can't do that now because, everybody else is being mean to me. So I can't just fall in line just because someone's being nice to me and then agree, because that would be a bitch move. Sorry, I can't do that.
That Stanzatastic said 5th X account must be a person of interest.
That would have been a good person of interest reference right there, or a house reference. But they think it's every day, but it's not every day.
It's not every day, bro.
No, it's not every day. All right, Mary, where can they find you?
You guys can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived.
Okay. There's a really.
We all caught up?
Yeah, there's a really good. There's a really good one in the chat. Says Brett's actually standing.
Damn.
That was good. I can't deny that. That was pretty good.
You got me.
Now I'm gonna be staring across from you and just think about that from time to time.
Like what happens is we're signing off from the show and I just turn and walk rather than have to stand up. I just go and turn that
When
way.
Kellen sat in your chair, he was like, "This feels like a kiddie chair."
Well, I actually had to lower it because he was like lean. He does the weird lean forward thing, like he's trying to make you an offer you can't refuse. Whereas I have to sit more straight, so I had to lower the chair. But all right,
Brett,
guys.
you want to read that last one?
No.
Okay.
Cubano says.
Just checking.
Yeah. All right, we will be back with Monday for more with that, guys. But if you want to follow me, Instagram and Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. If you want to listen to the audio version of this podcast, please check out Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And if you want to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook and not TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis because we were banned on TikTok. And on Instagram, at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Mary, do you want to read the last ones there? I don't have that much pride.
200 Watt Studio said, Brett, facial hair in limbo. Pick a beard or no beard. It's just like friendly fire all over the place today.
You know, I've heard that when you've been hurt, you lash out at other people irrationally.
Yeah, it's from a place of trauma.
It's giving abused at home vibes, guys.
Yeah.
It's giving abused at home vibes.
That Stanzatastic said, vroom, vroom, Mr. Snack.
Thank you.
I think we're all done now.
All right, guys, we will be back with another episode. Oh, actually, before we go, I do want to point out this weekend I will be live on Saturday at 1 p.m. on the Salty Nerd channel, and then on Monday I will be live over on A Force of Light at 6:30 p.m. So if you want to stay tuned for that, I will post the links up on my Twitter. So if you want to go over there and be mean to me over there, you'll have to super chat to do so. So I'll see you guys then. But we will be back with another episode on Monday. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.